Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Huerter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I slept through the whole thing.
All of it?
Woke up it was one of those mornings, like my alarm goes off at 3:30. And I just hit it this morning because, I don't know, Jason, it's tough sometimes when I'm watching the Kings games late. It's tough to get up in the morning. You don't know anything about that. And then, I don't know, about 4, trudge downstairs. Because of the stupid power outaging, there's like one job I have, and that is to do the timer on the coffee and put the grounds in it at night so that when I wake up in the morning, coffee.
Yeah.
So there's literally one reason that I keep this old Keurig, and it's because when that happens, I can just, it's on the counter, and I can use an emergency Keurig to have more instanty coffee. And so, I always go out front, just kind of look around. Good morning. I talk to the bluebirds and stuff.
Yeah. They talk back.
Depends on what I did the night before. It's really good, by the way, actually. It's a very good bluebird in person. I did not know that was in your arsenal.
They're here.
Or are they inside?
Yeah, it wasn't me.
And I go outside, and I'm like, look, there's no storm. There's no storm. This is, what?
You missed it.
It was like calm. There was no raining. A little wind.
Yeah.
Little wind.
Yeah, it was a much easier driving today than yesterday.
Oh, my God. Yesterday is about as, at least in California. I've had scary drives in Nebraska and Minnesota for obvious snowy reasons, but it's about as scared as I've ever been. I don't think I broke 45, maybe 50 on the freeway coming in yesterday. Mm-hmm. But my goodness, then I get online and it was, I'm reading, I follow the National Weather Service, and I'm reading like massive thunderstorm warnings for our area and El Dorado Hills, and I think around Oakdale and that stretch there were tornado warnings. I even here's something, one of the many stupid things about me, when I know there's weather, when I know there's weather coming, I crack my window in my bedroom
just to verify,
and unless it's like loud thunder and crashing things, I'm very soothed by mid to light winds.
Yeah.
And rain.
And a soft rain.
Yeah, it's soothing. It's like ocean waves. It's very soothing to me, and I like the smell of the rain. So I'll crack my window. I had my window open last night. And my backyard still looks like a hurricane hit it. So for those who were out there, woof, woof, woof. I'm glad. I hope everybody is safe. I saw a if you're using 5, I assume it's still rough because on the way in I was listening and there's a big rig, jack that's like halfway hanging off the rail that's blocking a bunch of traffic. So if you can avoid 5 this morning, do it. Obviously, weather is a big part of our day right now, our days right now. Jay, you mentioned to me on the phone this morning that it's supposed to pick up again later today. Is that right?
Yeah, I think around 8 it's supposed to hit hard again with the rain.
And that's right during real rush hour.
Yeah, that should be fun.
So we're gonna utilize our content partnership we have with KCRA Channel 3. You know, this is where the news comes first. Right? I don't know if you knew that.
And the weather.
And the weather. Eileen Javor is going to join us here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk to her. Not just about, what's to come today, but also, if you live in this area, and that's what I want to ask her. If you live in this area, you've heard the lore of, Jason, you and I were barely old enough, but have faint memories of 86. Very, very curious as to, they talk about these 5-year, 10-year, 50-year, 100-year storms. And we all know the lore that there will come a 100-year storm, and Sacramento is literally like the least prepared major city in America for it.
Right.
I want to know when, how much more has to happen before.
Are we in it?
Right. Does that come in play all of a sudden? Eileen will help us answer that here at about 6:13. Right now, let's get to leading off.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Pass out, deflected, stolen by Terrence Davis. Run to the rim, double clutch, no good. Kept alive by a trailing Dozier. Flipped up at the rim by Davis, no good. He chases, gets it, gives to Deli. Dellavedova sets the Sacramento Kings franchise record for 3-pointers in a game. Number 23.
Well,
for him?
Yeah, he had 23. Yeah, I think they're going to pick up his contract because of that. When I saw that we were close, I just kept thinking again. That was weird. I'm really kind of surprised that it took this long.
Yeah.
23.
Right.
And I get the feeling, and we'll get with this at 3 for Madness at 7:13. I feel like this record's not going to stand that long.
Yeah, because if you look at, the 20s have been hit. They had 21 last year. They got to 22 against Charlotte, and then here's 23 with all the shooting and the way they present day NBA. Yeah, I think it will be.
The Kings gave up 31 in the first and 32 in the second. Other than that, I was pretty happy with the defense. And, when you're scoring at that high of a pace, it's a lot tougher to hold opponents down that far.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it was a perfect game last night, Jason. I'm going to say it was about as good of a game as I think we could have hoped for.
I think it was needed. The win. Most important.
Needed.
If it was by 1 again, it was 1 by 1. But I think they needed one where, hey, look, Sabonis and Fox didn't have to do everything. And it was kind of cruise in.
Yes.
They haven't. The last blowout was, or not even blowout, maybe multi-possession game was the loss at Memphis. Well, you'd rather be on the right side of it. And this time they're on the right side of it.
Was the last, I got to go look. The last blowout wasn't, this is the biggest blowout we've had since Brooklyn?
Blowout? Probably. I mean, as far as that. But yeah, I think if you looked at the last, was it 4 wins?
Yeah.
Aren't they all by 1 or 2 points?
Well, yeah, the last 3 wins were a combined 4 points.
Okay.
Last 3 wins before this were by a combined 2 1-point wins and a 2-point win.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have a little stress-free. Much, much, much more on this later, including, as long as this fence is okay, Frankie Cartoscelli joining us here later on in the program. Number 2.
Cut number 2.
The Georgia Bulldogs bludgeoned their way to back-to-back. Glory, Georgia, as the fight song says. Leaving no doubt. That's been the mantra.
Congratulations to my cousin David, who is a UGA alum, and we were texting last night. That's a repeat for his alma mater. And here's what stinks about this. And obviously it's in the college football town, but it's a national championship, so we'll spend a couple minutes on it today. Just mostly in general. This was a throttling.
Yes.
You said you joined it at 10-7. And what really stinks about this is that one of my favorite arguments is when a non-power team, there's always one every year, a Central Florida, a TCU, whatever, is undefeated or close to it. It's like, hey, they should be in there. Well, this is going to be brought up quite a bit. It's like, this is what happens when you play the big boys, which isn't fair because last I checked, TCU beat Michigan.
Absolutely.
And listen, there's no way to prove this, Jason, but I would bet every possession I own that if Michigan and Georgia had played, it would have been a much better game.
I agree.
I think Michigan still would have lost, but not like that.
Right.
Which is why it's just sports are so weird.
Yeah, and especially in the one game, I think this is the perfect example of the people that say they shouldn't be there. Well, you got to give them a chance. And their chance was that they beat Michigan.
Yeah.
They kind of stole that game, but they won.
Yeah.
And then here's the next chance, and they didn't look like they belonged.
And if you're Michigan, you got to be sitting at home watching that game right now. Going, how?
Yeah, this could have been us. Well, maybe not on the wrong end of 65-7, but I think to your point, it would have been a competitive game.
At least 60-12.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious. So we'll talk more about that. Really, honestly, it was bad for the sport. That's the thing. And we'll talk to Sean Salisbury coming up at 8:12. And what would Sean have said if he was in that locker room? Yeah. Number 3.
Cut number 3.
What a job the team of docs and the medical team did out in Cincinnati. And now he's in great care here in Buffalo. We're happy to have him back. He's doing well and a little bit tired, but it was good to see him in person for the first time in a while.
News just keeps getting better. Damar Hamlin released from they keep calling it UC, and then I get confused. I'm like, why is he here?
Yeah.
University of Cincinnati Hospital. He's been released. He is back in Buffalo, continuing his recovery. Obviously, all signs are pointing well. And Jason, we've all spent a lot of time with Damar Hamlin on our minds, and I know this is so damn premature. But I found myself last night when he was released. It was the first time since this happened that it creeped into my head. God, he's sitting there with his friends and family. Like, is there any point where he starts thinking about continuing his career?
Yeah.
And again, I know that's way down the line. And how scary must that be if he does?
Right. Well, all that, and you also go, I mean, time goes fast. It's been 1 week.
Yeah.
So he's 8 days.
Yes.
I mean, from life-threatening, I'm not sure he's making it through the night, to he's better. He's released. He's taught. I mean, it's all getting better, which is great. And how quickly it's happened.
And that's the thing. And although quickly, yet
yeah,
right.
I'm sure for the family, horrific. And this was the longest week of their life.
God. There will never be a day when I hear somebody say the term "it's been 1 week" and not think of the Bare Naked Ladies in that song. You're talking about like the most serious thing ever, and you just said it, and that song is now repeating itself in my head.
It's been
1 week. Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's been 1 week since we started talking about my guy Shelby. Solar by Shelby is the website. Well, if you're new or you just get back from vacation, what are you talking about solar with Shelby? What do you mean? It's refinance with Shelby. It's both. Shelby just wants to save you money. That's what he wants to do. He knows if you're with PG&E, you've been yanked all over the place. Don't do that. Don't get yanked. He can save you 30 to 50% off your PG&E bill right now. Now, the way I'm approaching these spots, because if you're like me and I have solar, you're inundated with get the solar from 90 it's solar. Here's my thing. I challenge you to go to Shelby at solarwithshelby.com. Find the hole in the plan. It's going to save you money. You're going to get a 30% federal tax credit back, cash. You're locked in from inflation, from rising rates. You can sell your energy back. By the way, that's changing in April quite a bit as far as the percentage goes that you get. They'll finance the whole thing. They'll finance a new roof along with it if you need a new roof. It increases the value of your home. I'm not going to give you the hard sell. I'm just going to challenge you to call Shelby. Find the hole in the plan. Save money. You're welcome. SolarWithShelby.com. That's SolarWithShelby.com. And you tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. We're good to go right now. Hey, yeah, that's right.
That.
Hey, we're doing news.
Yes.
Our content partner and our good friends over at KCRA. Guys, it's where the news comes first.
Yes.
And the weather as well. Joining us right now. That's not on my end. I got everything muted. Oh, that was on his end. We're always very professional for the very, very busy.
Yeah.
Eileen Javora. Eileen, good morning. The Twitter bio says meteorologist, mom, foodie, and that gives us a lot of stuff to talk about, but we'll focus on the meteorology this morning. Yeah, you're very busy. How are you this morning?
Hey, doing well. Boy, a lot of action this morning.
Yeah, I was just telling them I slept through it. I got up at 4 and I was like, there's no storm. I know, which is weird because my backyard looks like I said, like a hurricane hit it. I know you're getting damaged. I saw you talking earlier about the you guys were talking about the truck on I-5, all the different things going on. So where are we at right now, and where are we going today, Eileen?
Okay, so we're in a relative lull right now in the valley. We had a line of thunderstorms that was just off the coast at around 1 a.m., and it decided to just kind of blow up over us at about 3:30, 4 o'clock. So if you were woken up, like many of us were, you heard the rumbles of thunder, you heard the wind. We had gusts around 55 miles an hour or so around the Sacramento International Airport, same thing out towards the Lincoln area. So we know this line contained a lot of strong wind. And we even had 2 tornado warnings down in the San Joaquin Valley from this same line. That happened around 3:30, 4 o'clock this morning. So that's all now pushed up into the foothills and the mountains. It's snowing like crazy up in the mountains right now. So that line, that intense line, once it met up with the cold air, really just developed this very heavy snow up there. So that's where we're at right now. The line has cleared the valley. The rest of today, we're going to be in and out of showers, thunderstorms, some downpours, some dry breaks too. It's not going to be that all-day widespread kind of rain, but just kind of those pockets of thunderstorms.
Eileen, we've had so many in a row here. I mean, it's obviously some weather is needed. The rain has been needed. But at what point now, between the wind and the water control that we keep getting in here, the amount of rain that's come in, is this going to become a really big issue?
Yeah. You know, I don't think so. I think everything is working as it should when we get into these busier times. It's just been so long since we've had a year like this. If you remember the 2016-2017 year, we actually had more rain by that time in this point in the season. So we were dealing with a lot more water and where to put it. The good news is going forward, yes, we do see rain down the road. No, we don't see these kind of more intense storms as of now down in the forecast. So like tomorrow, for instance, it's going to rain again, but it's going to be that light, moderate, steadier rain, likely not going to cause any bigger flooding issues. But the problem is about now, since we've had these, 4 or 5 in a row of either wind and or lots of rain, we have so much debris out there and so many clogged drains and issues, and everything's just so saturated. So even with a system that would produce, a half inch or an inch, that would be no big deal in a normal year. But if you get that, you even will still see standing water on the roads and in backyards and, those storm drains that just don't ever, kind of rid the clear from all of the debris. So, it's that kind of situation moving forward. I don't see as much wind in the forecast moving forward. That's good because those are a couple pretty scary storms that move through.
Just 1 minute, last question for you again. Know you're very busy this morning. We anyone who's lived in this area long enough knows about the lore of the 5-year, 10-year, 50-year, 100-year storm events and the lack of general preparedness as to where we are with our levees and stuff on a national scale. At what point, or are we anywhere near the ballpark of starting to have those 50,000 foot type of conversations?
I don't think so. Okay. Not at this point. Again, if you remember 2016, 2017, that's when we had some real issues because by the time we really got rolling into the season and it wouldn't let up. You remember the Oroville situation. It was one of those situations 5 days out. We're going, okay, it's filling. When are we going to dump more water out of there? And eventually DWR did, but the inflows were too much. And we had that spill over the emergency spillway. So we're nowhere near that. Shasta, Oroville have so much room. They're not dumping water out of there. They're catching all the water they need to. We've been in drought for 3 years. So they're letting all that water just collect in there. That is great news. And Folsom is a smaller reservoir. It's being controlled right now for flood protection, but it too is being managed. And right now everything is going smoothly with it.
All right. Well, listen, we've got you guys on. Say hello to Tamara for us. We know you're doing great stuff out there. Thank you so much. And,
yes.
Keep working hard and helping the people out. We appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.
All right,
Thank you.
Take care. That is Eileen Javor from our content partners over at KCRA3.
Well, that's where their historical perspective helps.
Yes.
Because it does feel like it's like an all-timer to me. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Honestly, until she brought it up, I kind of I was like, oh, yeah, the Orville thing.
Yeah.
I completely remember that now, but just kind of, I don't have the numbers and figures here, but I just don't remember much wind like this.
Yeah. The wind. I mean, honestly, Saturday night, I was like, you're supposed to be the adult. Like, I'm kind of frightened here.
Yeah.
Like, are we gonna be okay?
Mother Nature is a scary beast.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. And I've had those, I've had those gazebos bolted down in my backyard forever, still in the pool, just hanging. They're swimming,
getting laps in.
They're swimming.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Thank you to Eileen for that. In the meantime, a different kind of storm hit Southern California last night. And I'll turn this up.
Meantime, they've hit
a
the
different
field.
kind of stupid YouTube idiot. All right, here we go. That was on me.
TCU begrudgingly walks to the middle of the field. Georgia on the logo, celebrating back-to-back Nats. Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Ugh.
Yeah, beat down.
You know, I was manually looking it up last night, and I'm sure this is where I feel dumb. I'm sure it's all over Twitter somewhere. But I went all the way back. I was just on Wikipedia, and I went all the way back. I want to say to 1943. Didn't see a blowout anything like this. So Jay had mentioned that there was like a Notre Dame Navy game back when they had literally had leather helmets.
Yeah,
that was like 59-0 or something silly like that. We're going to talk about this a lot more later. First off, congratulations to Georgia. They are the clear. And remember, you and I are old enough to remember when it was almost a rarity to have a clear national champion. There's no question they're the clear national champion. Congratulations to Kirby Smart, that whole crew, Stetson Bennett. I saw an article, is he the next Brock Purdy? Which I love people are saying that.
Yeah.
And for TCU, you're the second best team in the country, and you're Texas Christian. That's a huge accomplishment, but I'll bet they're not feeling that way this morning.
Yeah, I mean, they were the underdog, obviously. What do we have yesterday? Like 12.5, 11.5, whatever it was, we figured out, and it's obviously
they covered.
They did cover. Yeah. They get blown out if you're TCU, but that also, you know, some of the talk has been this has been bad for the sport. I mean, they have to reconfigure how they've done this. I feel like this is isolated, but I also feel like when you say that, it's doing a little disservice to Georgia. I think this was a really special team. They lost a lot of guys to the NFL last year, and they come back and do it again, and maybe even in more impressive fashion.
Yeah.
Also, last weekend was one of the greatest Final Four. Those two games were incredible, and they were razor thin. This one happened to be a blowout. I mean, we react pretty quickly to things like this.
That's a great point. Who would have thought that last weekend was by far what a letdown after one of the if
those two games were great.
They were arguably the best we've had in the modern bowl era with the Final Four. It was absolutely fantastic.
Followed by a clunker. Well, we got the clunker last.
Well, we go from the juniors to the seniors, the college football to the NFL, and as always, the regular season, I should say, wraps up. And now we've got a coaching carousel for you. Let that begin. And which one of those teams is going to be a playoff team as well? We'll talk about that too right after this.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Eileen Javor in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. After a nasty line of thunderstorms this morning went through, we still have the chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today, likely some drying into tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
When it comes to your sewer, what goes down must come out. Get a detailed video inspection absolutely free with any sewer drain cleaning, and keep life flowing in the right direction. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, if you're taking Viagra or any other pill for ED, I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I want to continue to do this for the rest of my life? If you're like most men, the answer is no. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we can restore blood flow naturally without pumping your body full of chemicals like you've been doing. Guys, you need to come in today and fix this problem now. Why are you putting this off? Viagra's not going to magically start working next week, and you don't want to use shots or go under the knife. Call us today and speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. Change your life today like the thousands of men who already have. If you're tired of dealing with ED or Peyronie's disease, then call West Coast Men's Health.
With offices in Sacramento and San Mateo, call 916-829-8273. That's 916-829-8273. 916-829-8273. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome.
Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, is also Northern California's #1 Honda certified pre-owned vehicle dealer.
Come see our amazing selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. We have something for everyone. Don't shop dealer to dealer trying to find the perfect used car. Stockton Honda has the selection, financing, and savings you want. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company, Zone 1 Report.
Dancing crew, trip for two, nailed the final interview. Game with Doug, brand new mug. Come here, kid, give me a hug. The more you want to do, the more we want to do. New COVID-19 boosters designed for recent Omicron variants are now available. Learn about eligibility and schedule a free, updated booster today at vaccines.gov. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprouts, online at goodfeet.com.
People of the world, I am Chef Wes Andres, and I'm here with an important message. I'm speaking to you from downtown Tucson. As tonight gets dark, people are going to go to their homes without electricity, without water, and very often without much food to eat. This winter is going to be brutal, not only for the people of Tucson, but for many, many Ukrainians all across Ukraine, but especially in the places that they've been recently liberated near the front lines. The people of Ukraine right now are fighting for freedom. We're here with a very simple ask. World Central Kitchen will be able to keep doing the work we've been doing over the last 8-9 months with your support, with your help together. I know we will not leave the people of Ukraine alone.
This time check is brought to you by West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Huerter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Well, it's either a good time to be an NFL head coach or you got your walking papers. Had time to be an NFL coach. So we had quite a few. Before we get to NFL head coaches, thought this is interesting from Sean Salisbury over the break. Kevin Durant's missed several weeks. The future outlook to win the Eastern Conference, the Celtics, has not changed. However, the Nets have dropped considerably. The Cavs have moved from plus 900 to plus 750. Excuse me, the Sixers have. The Cavs plus 1,000 to 900 as it reverberates in the betting markets.
Now, is this to be the 1 seed or to win the West like at the end?
Win the Eastern.
The East.
Yeah, to win the East, which I think you and I are thinking the same thing. Brooklyn looked so good that it doesn't really matter if they're the 8th seed.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if they're
I don't
playing.
think their odds should change.
No, I mean,
unless Durant was out, but
right.
She's not. Well, it's not supposed to be.
And, yeah, several weeks, which will make it really interesting. Again, it sounds like an after All-Star break. And if you're in the Nets, you're going to be super duper careful. As are a lot of NFL teams now, with a lot of coaches out of there, including the Battery in Arizona. And this is something we started talking about, about halfway through the season. That you could just tell, you get that look. Cliff Kingsbury gone, the GM stepping aside as well. You've got openings. The Titans have fired 4 of their assistants, and that's usually a death knell. That puts the coach on notice.
Yeah, and for the Cardinals too. While we were talking about it, the one thought I go, well, they just extended him. It's been less than a year, and he got a contract extension. It shows you how fragile it can be because they were the longest team undefeated a year ago, and then ultimately kind of fizzled late, had a bad playoff loss.
Yeah.
And then injuries just crushed them this year.
It really does, with Cliff Kingsbury being fired. We've seen Matt Rule going back to Steve Spurrier, Nick Saban. We've seen the whole thing with college coaches, and I got to find it because I can give credit. I read a couple really good articles yesterday, really putting on, and when you see it in front of you, if I'm the owner / GM of an NFL team, I would much rather be the guy that has the rare miss, which, by the way, if you don't hire the college coach and he goes on to do well somewhere else, it's not really, no one's going to bring that back up to you necessarily, versus it's a far bigger chance to take to hire the NFL coach or the college coach, in the NFL. Since 2000, college coaches that have jumped to the NFL, Urban Meyer's 2-11. Matt Rule 11-27. Cliff Kingsbury 28-37-1. Bill O'Brien 52-48. Chip Kelly 26-21. Jim Harbaugh 44-19. And that's the list. Doug Maroney, Bobby Petrino was 3-10. Nick Saban 15-17. Spurrier 12-20. Butch Davis 24-35. And really, when you look at, because I don't really count Kelly or O'Brien, even though they were above 500 as great tenures. Jim Harbaugh,
right?
44-19-1. That's 600 plus. That's good. And then you also think about Pete Carroll. And the point that these folks were making is, Jim Harbaugh played quarterback. Then he was he was an assistant coach in the league. He spent the bulk of his career and post-career in and around the NFL, and then went to Stanford, did his thing there, had a couple of coaching stints in college, and then jumped. But he's really an NFL coach masquerading. Same thing with Pete Carroll. Cut his teeth in the NFL, and went to USC, did his thing, then came back.
Right.
Neither of those guys are your classic, like Kingsbury, for example, who with the air raid and all that fun stuff comes in and just fails.
Right.
It's very, very tough right now for college coaches, I think, looking to jump because of the stigma, which is earned.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's so difficult, and that's why I've always said, like, if you have become a coach at college that is the benchmark name of that university, why would you leave?
I don't know.
And I know there's different motivators, and some of it's money, but some of it's that professional challenge. But I mean, you are the face of that. Nick Saban will get anything and everything he wants forever at Alabama.
Forever.
So stay.
He is rich beyond rich.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that when you're a college coach at that level, you're living in a mansion that you're not paying for.
Right.
You have a car allowance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that every check from Nick Saban is going straight to the bank, but most of it is.
Yeah.
He's not, his day-to-day expenses don't exist. And I had a chance a few years back to go out to Kentucky a few times and really witness John Calipari up close, the head basketball coach out there, who is, I wouldn't say he's the Saban equivalent. He's not, but still head honcho, huge blue chip program. John Calipari is the mayor / president / governor of Lexington. He wants for nothing. He, his kids, his family are revered there. They're worshipped there. And by the way, he's making coin. Why would you want to go to the NBA?
Yeah, and you think about, like, for college, everything's about recruiting. I got to believe, Dave, anybody that's, let's go 3, 4, 5-star recruit, at least thinks about going to Alabama. They don't all go, but it crosses their mind. Hey, I know what they've done. I know what he's done. I know he's produced a lot of NFL players. I know likely I'm going to have a chance to play for at least one national championship while I'm there.
Yeah.
Whereas if we take right now, I mean, historically, the best coach in the NFL has been Bill Belichick, one of them.
Yes.
Well, one, you don't always get that choice. Two, how many people like, I want to play for, maybe some.
Sure.
But I almost think any high school player that's going to college at least thinks about going to Alabama.
They're the brand name.
Yeah.
And
they might choose Notre Dame, they might choose Clemson, Georgia, whatever. Sure. But they think about it.
I would also like to see a study. This is what I don't have in front of me. If it's much different and you would think better NFL coaches going to college. You would think it's better, but they're also dealing with, they don't have a salary cap per se, but you're also dealing with turnover every 3 to 4 years of your entire roster. You constantly have to keep building and building.
Yeah.
Their draft is going into kids' living rooms. So it is a different style of coaching.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who did that recently. Lovie Smith was with the Bears, then went to Illinois, and then back to the NFL. But yeah.
Lovie Smith out after 1 year with the Texans. Frank Reich was fired earlier. Matt Rule fired earlier. Nathaniel Hackett didn't get a full season. That was maybe the biggest disaster all year long. There's a name that's not on this list. By the way, Cliff Kingsbury, we mentioned earlier. There's a name that's not on this list that should be, I think, and that's Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
It's the other thing is that I'm not sure who has a worse winning percentage. Honest to God, if you look at since 2000, you look at college coaches jumping to the NFL and Bill Belichick disciples becoming head coaches.
Yeah.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah.
They fail almost every time.
Right. And now you look at people that could fill these jobs and maybe others that potentially become open from some playoff losses. But Sean Payton seems to be the biggest name out there. And I mean, that's the get to me.
Yes.
If you're an organization.
I think right now, Sean Payton, number one, he's going to make a ton of money. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to end up jumping, if for no other reason. He has a shelf life. Also, the investigations.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a part of that. So that's number two. I think that Sean McVay is going to leave the Rams, but I'll bet he takes a year off.
Okay.
So I wouldn't put him in that category. Then you have guys, you have coordinators like, when the Niners lost Robert Saleh, oh my God. And now, how does D'Amico Ryans not? Well, I know how, but he should not be out of a job next year.
But he's going to be coveted.
I would think so. And then let's go back to why am I blanking? Longtime offensive coordinator, Chiefs. We talk about him every year.
Eric Bieniemy.
Eric Bieniemy, thank you. Who just continues, as we talked about before. Is he the worst interviewer ever, or something going on? Because Eric Bieniemy should have been a head coach a long time ago.
Agreed.
They must be paying him a ton of money. All right, Kings win. Oh, Kings win. Finally, a nice, easy, stress-free game. Woo! Let's get into it next.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
ATM Mortgage. Hi, this is Jeff Tarbell with a very unique program for homeowners over 55 years old. How would you like to cut your house payment in half and maybe get some cash out too? Give ATM Mortgage a call. 916-338-9400, 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net. ATM Mortgage. License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
American Energy wants to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. With 0% financing and payment plan options available, there's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. Call American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. 50% off furnace when you purchase a whole home HVAC system. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers or specials.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit GainswaveCalgary.ca.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com. 0
down with approved credit.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2023 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Sabonis right shoulder toward the basket at the right elbow extended. Now drives to his left, slips in the paint, over the shoulder pass to Herter, saves it from going out of bounds, rocks, fires, scores right in front of the Orlando bench. Kevin Herter with the triple. There's a ball deflected, but steal. Kevin Herter leads it ahead to Mezzi. Run to the rim. Scores it, and he's fouled from behind. 3-point opportunity for Chimezie Metu. Drops the ball off to Herter, attacks the baseline, feeds a pass to the near corner. Barnes wide open. That's called spraying for threes. The drive and the kick, and Harrison Barnes knocking down the triple. He's got 26 within one of his season high. That's the 20th made three-pointer tonight by the Kings.
We're going to talk more about Harrison Barnes later. Also, we'll get back to some three-pointer sound. I want to stop, though, and say, there were some very frustrating moments for the old Red Velvetino last night, Kevin Herter, specifically with fouls. That steal, I went back and watched it a few times, and Jason, I don't know if you got it from your angle. That steal and then the pass to Chimezie Metu. I don't know how he got that pass through. It was this like weird two-handed sideways bounce pass. It's one of the best passes I've seen all year long, and I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle. I'm looking forward to asking him about that. I believe tomorrow when we have the Kevin Herter Show on, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. In addition to all that, Jason, threes, water wasn't the only thing raining last night in Sacramento. Trey Lyles ties the record. And he ties the record.
Trey Lyles from the corner for three. There it is. Kings have tied their franchise record for threes in a game.
And who better to break the record than maybe the best form on the team?
Yes.
Matthew Dellavedova.
Pass out, deflected, stolen by Terrence Davis. Run to the rim, double clutch, no good. Kept alive by a trailing Dozier. Flipped up at the rim by Davis, no good. He chases, gets it, gives to Delly. Dellavedova sets the Sacramento Kings franchise record for three-pointers in a game. Number 23.
And of course, I joke about the form. Love Matthew Dellavedova. Katie mentioned it last night on the broadcast. His contract's about to be guaranteed for the year, we assume, and it's his contributions. Every team needs a guy like that. And he's that guy, along with guys like Harrison Barnes, the true quiet giant leaders of the team. You don't always have to lead with your play, although that helps. Delly's a guy who has championship experience, who's been there before, and who really is a mentor to a lot of these guys. It's just a good, stress-free win last night.
Yeah, I think that was just so needed. I mean, they played well. They deserved to win. I was worried coming in about the size of Orlando. It bothered them the last time. Orlando's only 2-point lead was 2-0.
Yeah.
And there was a couple early back and forth. But after that, I mean, that first quarter was great. 41 points, shot 71%, hit 7 threes in the opening quarter, just set a tone, and they really didn't slow down, which is cool.
Now, 41, 31, 35, 29 for Sacramento. I remember at the end of the first quarter, I made a comment that giving up 31 points in the first quarter is not ideal, especially after Mike Brown's emphasis on defense. But if you're going to score 41, I can live with it.
Yeah.
That averages out to a 40-point victory. That's fine. And then, one of those things about a win like that is you get a chance to give some of these guys, you look at the starter minutes, all in the low 30s, high 20s. Herter only played 22 minutes, but he had a little bit of a foul trouble in there. It gives them a chance. They needed to have a semi-stress-free type of day. But I want to just note here that the first commercial break of the game was 6 minutes into the game. And Domantas Sabonis had 4 points, 3 boards, and 4 assists.
Yeah.
In the first 6 minutes of the game. He's just, they're all great at times, but man, I'm really enjoying watching him play this year.
He's a special player that's having a great run. Again, broken thumb, by the way. He's still injured.
I think the thumb was holding him back. You know what's funny? We got to look this up, Jason. I'm pretty darn sure his splits are better post-thumb.
I think they are a little bit. I mean, he's just been playing at such a great level, and it even didn't need all of that from him, and he still gets the numbers. He's terrific. And that was to the point, like, there used to be a time early in the year where, like, he'd be left open from 3. I'm like, okay, maybe. Yeah. And I'm like, shoot it.
Yeah.
Shoot it.
Yeah.
Because I think he's going to make it.
Well, that's the thing. He worked very hard. There were videos going around last year of what he was doing and working on from outside the 3-point circle. Now, he's not shooting. He has shot 2.6 and 2.3 back in 2021, 2022, those 2 seasons combined with Indiana. So he shot this year. He's only shooting an average of 1.2 threes a game, which is half of what his career high is. but he's making 41.3% of those. And when you're getting a half a three, you're getting a three every other game from the guy, but he's shooting 41%. I agree with you. It's almost like, can we get that up to 2 or 3 attempts a game? Because it makes a difference.
It's a weapon.
It is a huge weapon. 1 block on the night for the Kings.
That's it.
That's it.
Who got it? I don't even know who got it. Let me see.
Who did get that? Let me see. It was.
Oh, of course, it was Malik Monk.
And
he was terrific.
Well, and I'm not saying Malik Monk's why they won the game. It's a different team when you have Malik Monk.
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers had more guys out the other night, but Monk would have really helped the Kings that night, and he wasn't there.
When we look at the standings right now, the first place Pacific Division Sacramento Kings are 21-18. They are 5.5 back of the Nuggets and Grizzlies, who both continue to be incredibly hot. The Clippers have lost 6 in a row. That's very interesting. The Kings have a 1.5 game lead on both them and the Golden State Warriors, who've lost 2 in a row. Injuries just continue to kill that Warriors team. I am still, if I'm putting money on things, I'm still putting it on either the Warriors or Suns winning the Pacific Division when it's all said and done. But as we will talk about a little bit later, Kings are halfway through their home schedule.
Yes.
I mean, we're past the whole fluky stage. You and I both know we've been around long enough. The season starts after the All-Star break. Totally understand that. But listen, this is we're past fluke.
Yeah, and I mean, after Friday, the 2 games they have coming up with the Rockets, they'll literally be at the halfway point of the season, but they'll have played more home games than road games at that point. Yeah, I mean, again, I think they're doing some good things, and they're still tinkering. Coach did some tinkering last night with the rotation, so and there's still a trade deadline to come. They've, knock on wood, been very injury-free, so they just got to keep that going and just keep pushing.
And so far, P.J. Dozier has not played a game for the Kings without getting at least 1 rebound.
Yeah, he's 1-0 as a King.
He is 1-0. We are undefeated with P.J. Dozier. Here is G-Man talking to a man who might break a record of his own, Keegan Murray.
With his back to us down below us with a headset on, I believe that's Keegan Murray getting a fist bump there from Slamson.
Yeah.
How's the mane on that big cat? He's looking pretty stout tonight, is he not?
That's an interesting outfit, though.
It is an interesting outfit, to say the least. Well, Keegan, there was so much talk about concern about giving up points in the paint and one thing or another, and a lot of hand-wringing. I don't know how it was for the players and the coaching staff. I know that there was emphasis on defending the paint. I think the Kings did a pretty notable job in that category tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, the first quarter we gave up a lot in the paint. Second quarter we gave up 4 points in the paint. So I think that's kind of where the game changed. And that second quarter, I think, really pushed the lead out for us, and we never looked back.
You tonight made 5 of the franchise record 23 three-pointers. You probably had no clue that it was going to be a franchise record shooting night from downtown. But how comfortable, I know you've been knocking down a lot of threes lately, and the Kings look and design plays to find you out there on the wing for that triple. That's got to feel awful good when you're right in rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, when I'm hitting shots, the ball finds you. So I feel like a lot of our guys shot the ball well tonight. I feel like we were due for a big game like that. So it's nice to get that one tonight. So.
And the beam is about to be lit, and it looks like Chimezi has the honors tonight.
Yeah.
And the roar of approval from Kings fans.
So it's always fun to hear that.
Yes.
As we break, Keegan Murray is now 25th in the league in 3-point percentage. And of the guys above him, only 7 have more makes from distance. That's pretty cool. Not as cool as this, and this is from a guy who covers the NBA named Brett Usher. Keegan Murray shot 5 of 6 from 3 last night. He's now shooting 41% on 5.7 attempts per game. That would make him the first rookie in NBA history to shoot 40 or more percent on 5.5 or more attempts per game. And Jason, I think you agree with me here. I feel like this is just a corner of his ability.
Oh, yeah. There's more to his game. There needs to be more to his game.
There does.
Yeah.
He's just chilling in the corner basically his rookie year and hitting shots and learning the game. Wait till he starts creating his own shot more and more and more and being more aggressive. All right. So we had some big time numbers we talked to you about from last night. Let's take a closer look, including a big record for them. Also, distributing the ball as well. How the Kings were able to beat up on the Magic next.
The only place you'll find Harrison Barnes is Sactown Sports.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Harrison Barnes, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Eileen Javor in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. After a nasty line of thunderstorms this morning went through, we still have the chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today, likely some drying into tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
When it's cold and rainy outside, everyone knows Bonnie is leading the way home. Right now, stay warm and cozy with a $79 furnace tune-up. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Schedule an appointment today at Bonnie.com.
At Folsom Lake Honda, in addition to great prices on new Hondas, we stock the best selection of quality pre-owned vehicles, and each one of those vehicles is priced to sell now.
With new cars in high demand, Folsom Lake Honda has a great selection of quality one-owner trades with low miles, and each is priced to sell now. Every used vehicle on the lot comes with a Carfax vehicle history report and has passed a safety inspection. Shop our entire selection at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Join the NBA family as we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
The dream lives on.
Division rivals meet as this Heat squad seeks to slow down Trae Young and the Hawks.
How ridiculous is that?
Then get ready for a pair of Western stars as Chris Paul and the Suns travel to Ja Morant and the Grizzlies in the Grindhouse. Heat Hawks, Suns Grizzlies, January 16th on TNT.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all areas. Hey, small business owner, when's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But some don't check their rate often. Did you know rates can vary? In fact, taking 3 minutes to check your rate with Pi Insurance could save you up to 30%. Just go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for you with no hassle or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could save you money. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. You've heard me talk with my friend Shelby about real estate for a long, long time. You know what? Shelby's main goal? He just wants to help you save money no matter how. So what is Shelby doing right now with the real estate market all over the place? He's pivoting. solarwithshelby.com. And you might be saying like, oh God, solar. No, listen, Shelby's got it dialed in, especially if you're a PG&E customer. He can save you 30 to 50% off your bill, 30% federal tax credit, dollar for dollar. It comes back in cash. Protect yourself from inflation. These numbers could be going up and up and up. 100% financing. Yeah, they've got it. Nothing down, 30% tax credit, 25-year guarantee. What more do you need? Go to solarwithshelby.com. That's what you need. You need solar. Solarwithshelby.com. Save yourself some money today and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
We all know the pain of being stuck in the past. But with Roseville Electric, you can get current. Roseville Electric provides you with clean, reliable electric solutions for your home or business. Whether you're looking to go electric, reduce your carbon footprint, or simply save on your monthly energy bill, Roseville Electric has a solution for you. For more info, visit getcurrentroseville.com today.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Huerter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Pass out, deflected, stolen by Terrence Davis. Run to the rim, double clutch, no good. Kept alive by a trailing Dozier. Flipped up at the rim by Davis, no good. He chases, gets it, gives to Deli. Dellavedova sets the Sacramento Kings franchise record for three-pointers in a game. Number 23.
Franchise record 23 three-pointers in a Sacramento Kings victory over the Magic in just a lovely game. Just a easy, simple, as you mentioned, 2-0 lead was the biggest deficit.
Yes.
For Sacramento. You know, let's not forget about this either. 39 assists.
Yes, fantastic. I mean, 30, we always say, is a winning formula. 39 is incredible.
I'd actually love to see. I'm sure somebody has it out there and we could do it if we had time. 30 or more assists, what the record is. It's got to be really, really, really good. And, of course, you have to make shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then that's the other thing is assist percentage. You know, I'm sure there have been games where there have been some tremendous assist opportunities.
Right.
But remember, it takes 2 to tango with assists. In order to get an assist, you have to convert the basket. And the Kings were converting all over the place. 50% from behind the arc, 23 of 46, 53.6% from the field overall, and 75% from the line. They went there just 12 times to match the Magic's percentage, also at 75%. They went there 20 times during the game. The rest, once again, screwed us. It was, but eight players in double figures. It was a very even, very good performance for Sacramento.
You brought it up yesterday. Take it out of the hands of the judges.
Yes.
I mean, if there was a bad call, it didn't much matter.
Didn't matter.
Kings had enough control, did their work early, were able to rest some guys, play everybody for the most part. So, yeah, it was an ideal night. It's what they needed.
And now you have, and what's great about this week, too, and this is a 4-game week for Sacramento. And I believe every game is spaced by exactly 1 day. The Rockets are here. They will play Sacramento tomorrow at 7:00, then a day. Then you got the Rockets Friday, and you hate those.
Yes.
You hate those back-to-backs against the same team. And then they get a day, and then they're off on a little mini roadie with San Antonio on Sunday and Los Angeles, the Lakers, a little revenge perhaps on Wednesday. I hear you, and I agree with you that it's tough to beat an NBA team twice in a row. I really need the Kings to start this road trip with it. Let's finish out with a 3-game win streak.
It'd be fantastic. And then, I mean, honestly, you look at it after that, not that you got to go past these games because they'll worry about this first, but San Antonio is the second worst team in the West. The Lakers, I know, just lost to them, but, I mean, they are below 500. This is still in that stretch of teams are playing below 500.
Then you come back and you play Oklahoma City at home
for the first time.
And then it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Philly, Memphis, Toronto at home. 1 of 3, 2 of 3 on that one. Probably, I'd say over/unders 1.5 wins in that stretch. Then you go to then that's where once you get done with that Toronto game on the 25th, we always say we're going to learn about we're going to learn about a lot about between January 28th and February 28th. The Kings play at home thrice, 2 against Dallas, 1 against Portland. The rest of the time they're facing the Minnesotas, the Indianas, the return of Domantas Sabonis, Tyrese Halliburton revenge game, New Orleans, another back-to-back in Houston as well. There's a back-to-back in Minnesota and a back-to-back in Dallas, back-to-back in Oklahoma City. So quite the interesting month for the Kings, the opposite of what they've had the last month.
Yeah, and that's why you were hoping for a little bit even more of a cushion than they have now, but that's okay. They can still make this up. And the other part about that is when we start looking, much like when we look at a schedule, look at all these favorable games, they don't win them all. And much like when you look at, oh man, I don't know how many they're going to get there.
Right.
They win more than you think too, or have an opportunity to win some of those that you think so, or don't think. So that's all coming up.
Interesting note on that stretch, at least as of today, that 1 month stretch coming up 28th to 28th. They play, I believe, 14 games. All of 2 are on the road. I believe 11 of 14 have worse records than the Kings currently do right now. 11 of 14.
Yeah.
So it's a hit or miss, and we'll talk about this in 3 for Madness. I'm not necessarily convinced the Kings are that much better at home than they are on the road. The record certainly doesn't reflect that as much. And we'll talk about them establishing home court advantage and if they have as of yet. In the meantime, we need to see how we did last night. Jay Mars, if you wouldn't mind getting the theme ready. We've got ourselves a little 3 in the key, which I think I went 4-0.
You think so?
I think I went 4-0 last night.
On 3 questions?
Yes.
I thought we had an extra one.
I thought we did too.
We did.
That was the other day.
Oh, that was the other day.
I supplied 2 and you gave us the third one.
I thought you supplied 3 and we got a 4th one.
I never doubt Jason Ross. I've learned this through the years. Are you and I both having a wrong thought, or do I feel like we had a bonus last night?
I thought we had a bonus last night, and you picked, because no, we did. You know how I know? Because you told me to pick it, because the game before you picked it.
I picked it.
That's what I'm saying. I picked 2 categories, and I gave you guys the third. The day before, Friday, we did 4.
See, Jason's still right. He's still right.
Always right. I will go back and check the tape.
Check the tape.
I will never
Coach
doubt
Walton
Jason again, ever.
Wow.
Well, let's see how we did here.
Coach Walton. Wow.
First question was plus minus for Davion Mitchell.
Plus minus for Davion, my wayward son, Mitchell.
Carmichael Dave said -3.
I said -3. Sorry, Davion.
I said +6. J Mars gave us a even 0. He was +8.
Congratulations to Jason Ross. You win that one for sure.
Final score was asked here from the team. Dave, you said 126 to 104. You were going to go Orlando, but you switched.
I switched.
You went back to Sacramento.
I did.
You said the reverse jinx, and you were good. I said 119, 116 Kings. And Jay said 111, 110 Kings. So 136, 111 looks like Carmichael Dave.
Thank you.
Is the winner.
The storm is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Storm of victory.
It's
a quiet storm.
And the category that was submitted by Jay Mars.
Yes.
Stat line for Keegan Murray. Points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay.
Dave, you said 14, 9, and 2. I said 13, 5, and 1. Jay Mars said 16, 3, and 3. And he was 15, 3, and 3.
Wow. Yeah.
Jay Mars.
Can I just say that
We all we
Jay certainly, we each got a category.
Mm-hmm.
Jay certainly won the Keegan Murray. There's no doubt about it.
That was almost spot on.
Let me just say, for 3 categories within the category, which is points, rebounds, and assists, we were all pretty darn close.
Yeah.
I mean, I said 9 rebounds, but I was being,
You thought the coach scared him into rebounding.
We are what the Germans say, savants.
Yes, that's exactly
what they're known for.
They are known for. Anyone happen to catch a clip of Keegan Murray, Rashawn Holmes? I forget who else was in there trying to do. They were asked to do Star Wars imitations yesterday.
Yes, it was on the big screen.
Have they ever seen Star Wars? I was it.
Beep bop boop bop.
Beep, bop,
I'm like, what are you doing?
Who was it? It wasn't Keegan or Rashawn. It was somebody else on the team. They were like, do a Chewbacca imitation. They're like, he sounds kind of soft spoken, like hello.
Terrence Davis.
Was it Terrence Davis?
Yeah.
It's obviously never seen Star Wars.
Well, they're doing the impressions and they saved Chewbacca for last. Like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I went,
It was not,
guys.
It was funny.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did they show it on the TV?
Yes.
Okay.
Also,
yeah.
I have a demand. Any franchise that's going to do a Star Wars night, can you at least get a cast member? Like Billy D. Williams should have been there last night.
There were stormtroopers.
No, I mean actual cast members.
You're talking
like R2D2,
huh?
Yes, like if R2D2 was there, that would count.
And no one, or C3PO, no one's gonna know.
That's what I mean.
Get somebody in the damn suit.
Come on, Boba Fett.
Then just have
give me something.
Have them lip sync the. You can have Boba Fett be like, happy.
Now with your national anthem, Jabba the Hutt.
I'm not gonna lie either.
Make some effort on these Star Wars nights.
It can't be too expensive to get Mark Hamill up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's not busy or isn't a successful guy, but you got to think 10 G's in front row seats gets Luke.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can help with that, by the way. I have a connection directly with Mark Hamill.
Well, God, and the Kings have so much technology too. I mean, you could get 3PO out there with the
get R2 out there to do the holograph.
Yeah, and just say go Kings. Pay him, say go Kings, do the holograph, keep it moving.
And get Sam Jackson to say light the blankety blank beam, and he's got the purple lightsaber.
All I'm saying is,
where's Yoda?
Let's put a little more effort into these Star Wars nights.
Yoda's dead.
That's true. He did die.
Jason. Spoiler alert. And by dead, I mean, are you really ever when you're a Force thing?
No, true.
What's up with Baby Yoda?
He will die eventually.
He's dead too. This all happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, yo. Okay. New record for the Kings last night, which coachless team will be in the playoffs next season. And bye. Brandon Belt. Our memories of him next. I mean, he did die. He went to Toronto.
To Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
American Energy wants to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. With 0% financing and payment plan options available, there's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. Call American Energy today at 916-520-9990 or visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. 50% off furnace when you purchase a whole home HVAC system. Limited time only. Cannot be combined with other offers or specials.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit GainswaveCalgary.ca.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, coming up at 8 o'clock, Frankie Cartoscelli and his Herculean fencing efforts, not the sword, holding up his backyard. He's going to take a break from fixing things to join us, Sean Salisbury, at 8:13, and a lot of Kings and Magic talk. Also, what national publication did their playoff power rankings and of the 49ers 5th?
Ugh.
5th. Yeah, we'll tell you that too. In the meantime, Jay Martian with his neck of the woods, 3 for Madness.
You know, the Kings set a franchise record last night for 3-pointers made with 23.
I did not.
Well, now you know.
Okay.
Will they surpass that mark at any point this season?
Yes, I think they will. I don't think this record's going to hold for long. I think there's going to be more than a game or two for the remainder of the season where all their shooters are on like they were last night. I don't think it's the last time they'll shoot 50% from behind the arc. And I'll even say this. I think when it's all said and done, I think 25 is going to be the season record going into next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. And yeah, I mean, maybe both things can't happen, but I feel like it will at some point, where the other blowout this year like this was Brooklyn, where they just ran them off the floor.
Yeah.
But, maybe a team's exchanging baskets with them. So then you're keeping in your best shooters and playing longer and maybe even overtime. So I think the logic tells you this is a good shooting team. They shoot 50% or better a lot in games. They share the ball. They're really good at spacing the floor. I think they're just made to do this. Now, 23 is a big number, so they have to go above that. But let's go with yes.
By the way, anyone know what the record is? I didn't.
I think it's 29.
It is. You're such a smart person. 29 3-pointers.
Is that Houston?
In
or
odd
Cleveland?
game. That was, I believe, that was Milwaukee.
Oh, Milwaukee. Oh, yeah, Milwaukee. Maybe a year or two ago.
The Bucks hit an
Buckaroos.
what?
Buckaroos.
Oh. 29 3-pointers in a 144-97 victory over the Heat. 9 of the 10 Bucks who played hit at least 1 3. Drew Holiday hit 6. So the Kings have a way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2.
Question 2.
The way the NFL works, at least one of the 5 teams with a coaching opening will be in the playoffs next year. Which of the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, or Arizona Cardinals has the best chance?
All right, I'm gonna take Houston out of the equation. It gets tough because with Indy and Carolina, you have to look at their divisions. It may not just be the team, it may be who there's who is there. I think it's between Denver and Arizona. I'm gonna take Arizona because I think the Rams are gonna rebuild.
Did you see it's being reported that Kyler Murray is going to have a hand in picking the next head coach?
Wow.
So I'm sure it's going to work out super well.
Hey, at least he'll be engaged, right?
Yeah.
So you think?
Yeah. He's on NFL 2K. I think Arizona has a lot of weapons. They're losing J.J. Watt, but they're going to open up a lot of salary cap space as well. They are going to have a good pick. I think Kyler Murray. I think you still have DeAndre Hopkins. You still have Hollywood Brown. You still have John Connor and the ability to continue.
Why do you keep saying
James Conner? I'm sorry, because dude, Terminator. It's my Derek David Carr thing right now. Defense, they can add to that as well, and I think it's a 3-horse race in the West. Niners, obviously, but I think it's gonna be Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals, and I think a new coach coming in there with that type of personnel. But again, I guarantee I'm wrong. It's going to be Houston. Watch.
Well, I think you to the division point, Houston and Indianapolis. I think. Yeah. I know Jacksonville just won this division. Titans had been the one winning that division, but that feels like it's open. The other one to watch, I think, is Carolina. After all the moves they made, it felt like they depleted their team and they almost made the playoffs.
Yes.
And if Tom Brady leaves Tampa, I don't know. I think that division. I mean, everybody else is below 500. I don't think it's great. They got to get some right moves there, but. It's just so weird. It's really hard to predict. I mean, again, Detroit won 3 games last year, nearly made the playoffs this year with 9 wins. Jacksonville won 3 games last year. They did make the playoffs with 9 wins. That is the good thing about the NFL. It can turn really quickly.
Well, and to the point of, again, a new head coach can turn that. That's what I think happened in Jacksonville. They survived the disaster of Urban Meyer. You get a head coach in Doug Peterson who's won a Super Bowl, and hey, look what happens. Yeah. Competence matters.
Right. And then the one team neither of us said, a lot of people might say they have the most talent is Denver, but I'm not falling for that.
They do. They do have a ton of talent on that team. And guys, I know I'm captain of the way ahead of the ball game train. I think there's a scenario where the San Francisco 49ers win a Super Bowl and they have to choose between Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers as to who heads them up next year at quarterback.
If they win the Super Bowl, Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback next year.
I would think so too. But
what?
It's Tom stinking Brady.
Who, you also have other guys you got assigned to an extension. Wouldn't you like a rookie quarterback who won a Super Bowl in year one on a very small deal while you're signing all these guys?
What if Tom Brady agrees to come for the league minimum? Would you if you were Tom Brady? You're rich. You made it. You come back home, win a Super Bowl, almost guaranteed. Tom Brady had a wonderful year. He broke his own record, I think, for completions.
It'll be a pretty big dilemma.
It will. Number 3.
Question 3.
Brandon Belt has been exiled to Canada as he signs a 1-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. What is Belt's best moment as a Giant?
This is tough because he's had a lot of wonderful moments. Also some great moments defensively as well, plus off-field moments like being the captain's hat, just being a great locker room guy. I picked 2 that I don't necessarily – they may not be the best, but they're so memorable. Let's start with a 24-year-old Brandon Belt on the biggest of all big stages. We're talking about the World Series – facing a guy named Max Scherzer, and they need a base hit.
Batter is Belt looking for his first hit, and he rips one down the right field line. Into the corner, it is off the wall. Fair ball, Pence will score, and Belt will dig all the way around second, head to third, and the Giants lead on the first hit of the series by Brandon Belt. A double by Pence, and Belt brings him home on 2 pitches.
If you don't remember that, by the way, that was Game 4, Detroit, his first hit of the series, and the Giants went on to sweep the Detroit Tigers and beat Max Scherzer. Here's one that maybe a lot of people won't remember, but I do think it kind of summarizes the type of hitter Brandon was. Mm-hmm. He's a guy that pitchers hated to face, not because they thought they were going to get, throttled, but because he was a pitch sponge. He just had such a good eye and a great ability to make contact. Listen to this at bat against the Angels not that long ago.
Belt fouls off the first pitch. He's sure-handed. The 6th inning. Belt reaching for it. McCutcheon on deck.
Each one of those sounds is that.
Full foul.
Pitch.
Full count. Paddock stays. Belt fouls another one back. Lifted out toward left, slicing out of play. Belt fouls this one off. Does not. Belt fouls it off again. Paddock doesn't go, and Belt hooks this one down the right field line, hooking foul.
Save it back.
The 19th foul. 20th pitch of the plate appearance. 21st pitch, forthcoming. Oh, a little flare to right field. Cole, a little bit of a late start. That was pretty awesome.
21 pitch at
21 pitch at bat.
Yeah.
When you consider that pitchers generally will try to go 100 pitches, give or take.
Yeah.
That's 1/5 of his pitches in one at bat. That's Brandon Belt at the plate.
Yeah. I'm going to go with 2014. Mm-hmm. Nationally, was it the championship series? It might have been when they were playing Washington. 18-inning game.
Oh, God, yes.
And Belt homered in the 18th inning. They were actually not supposed to beat Washington. So they had already gone up 1-0 in the series and then won this game in Washington. 18 innings, one of the great baseball games that I remember. But Belt homered in the top of the 18th, put the Giants up 2-1. That's what they won that game. Also led to the third of their 3 World Series during that run. But I remember that game and his big at-bat.
Brandon Belt, certainly an all-time Giant. That's for sure. We were trying to figure it out earlier. I think we agreed number 3 or 4 on the all-time list behind Willie.
You had him ahead of Jack Clark.
I need to still look at that. But obviously, Willie Mack and Will Clark, number 1 and 2. Although, Will Clark, number one in my heart, but I get it. It's not Will Clark Cove.
Right.
And then you've got, we'll have to look at Clark versus Brandon Belt.
Also, you want to talk about end of an era. Now Crawford, the only remaining member of those 2012 and 2014 title teams.
Yeah, that is the end of an era. As we go to break, let's also acknowledge what a wonderful baseball name, Brandon Belt. That's just a great baseball name. When we get back, the Kings belted the Magic.
Hey, yo.
On Star Wars night. We have post-game reaction next.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 19th at Cal Expo. Buy the latest gear. Learn from hundreds of experts in fishing, hunting, and outdoor recreation. See Toyota's powerful Tundra. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 19th through 22nd at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax-confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Have you ever noticed that when the afternoon light hits your floors, you can see everything, including dust?
So much dust.
And that floor dust gets kicked up into the air, compromising the quality of air you and your family breathe.
Eesh.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper is the fast and easy way to clean your floors, with ultra-thick pads that trap and lock dust before it gets in the air. Just a couple minutes a day,
And dust is gone.
Swiffer Heavy Duty Sweeper. Proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Sacramento area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Herter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
That was great to see. And we can even be better than what we were tonight. But I tell you what, our guys, Orlando scored 78 points in the paint the first time we played them. Obviously, our last 3 opponents have had a field day in the paint. And watching our guys do their work early and talk and cover for one another on most possessions, it was beautiful to see. Beautiful to see.
Some people enjoy Picasso, some people Da Vinci, some people Rembrandt, Mike Brown, defense. It really is what he brings to the table. I would say so far this year, coming in, it was defensive acumen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so far this year, he's been even more successful at flipping the culture.
Yeah.
And recognizing what to do to aid the players in doing that. Defensively, the results, let's just be honest, are mixed. I don't necessarily think that's because of Mike Brown, though. You can only cook a meal so good when you have certain ingredients.
Yeah, I think they've shown an ability to compete on that end of the floor. There's not a consistency with great defensive sets, but they do it more than they've done in the past. And I think the other thing that's happened this year, they've really become a special offense.
Yes.
I mean, the last couple of years, we said, look, the Kings are dead last or 29th in defense, and this offense is pretty good. And if they could just get a defense that got up to 20, well, the problem with last year, Dave, I think they dropped to like 20th offensive. Like they weren't a great offense.
Yes.
So now you're a top 5 offense with a defense that needs to get better, but some of the nights your offense is just so special, it doesn't matter. And I know that bothers coach, but if they could be the team that they want to be, they'll defend at a little more consistent level with this offense. Then they've got something really cooking.
25th in points allowed.
Okay.
First in points scored.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the all-important point differential, I want to say I believe they are, they're 10th.
Okay.
Actually tied for 9th, weirdly enough, with the Phoenix Suns. So listen, 25th isn't 30th or 29th, but I don't think we're all going to, go out and run naked in the rain over 25th. But you just get the feeling that with this team, Jason, I think their offense, maybe not like last night, but their offense is very sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
This is not fluky. This is not a hot streak. They have enough personnel to where, Keegan Murray gets cold, and Kevin Huerter steps up. Huerter gets cold, Malik Monk steps up, and blah, blah, blah. I think it's very sustainable. But I don't think they've even come close to realizing their potential defensively.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's where the outs are. If you have a off night, which does happen offensively, can you win the game with their defense? And I would say no. They haven't been able to do that enough. Maybe they've squeaked out a few or just been able to figure out another way to win. But you would like that option to be there where it's like, hey, just don't have it offensively. You know why they won was their defense tonight. I don't think we've said that nearly enough.
There's a moment, Bill Simmons coined this, I think, called a chill scene, and I like the term. There's a moment in Rocky IV where Rocky is fighting Drago, and he gets his face punched in the first round. And I want to say it's in the second round. He's still getting his butt kicked. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he throws this huge right cross, and he cuts Drago, and the announcers are going crazy. Round ends, Rocky's beating on him. Then he goes back to the corner, and Apollo's old trainer, I think it's Duke, he says a line. He says, you see, he's not a machine, he's a man. And the music starts playing. And that's a long way for me to go to establish that. I think at some point this season, in that locker room, in film somewhere, there has to be that Rocky Drago moment where the team collectively realizes, oh my God, I get it now. Our offense starts with our defense. And if we can lock down and be aggressive defensively, the offense is going to come through, because I think right now they're playing like their defense goes through their offense so many times.
Yeah.
Granted, it is easier to play defense when you make your shots, because it gives you an opportunity to avoid transition, gives you an opportunity to set your defense a little bit more. So that is important. But I just don't think this team has really gotten it yet defensively.
Yeah, and I think, I would say more of their better individual defensive players are coming off the bench.
Yeah.
They play their starters more because those guys have been producing. That makes sense. But last night, a few tweaks. We talked about points in the paint. I know that was an emphasis. They got a much better job there. And he went to Metu first as far as his big off the bench, and he hadn't been playing. And to his credit, in the limited minutes he got, he was terrific.
11 points, 9 boards, 2 assists in 14 minutes on 5 of 8. He was the recipient of a couple of fantastic passes for follow-up dunks. And that's not taking any credit away from him. He's got to be in the right position and convert. But with all the conversation we had yesterday about backup bigs, and again, I'll go back a little bit to Georgia TCU. Just because it works against the Magic doesn't mean it's going to work against the Bucks or this or that team. But what you saw last night in Chimezie Metu, give us anything close to that, and there's no problem with your backup big. I just don't know how sustainable that is.
Yeah.
That's a matchup thing.
I'd agree, but he did do some good things that I know Coach was looking for from him, and that's, he's got to do that. And he was in the mix before, but now he's getting called on again.
I think when you look at the team, Harrison Barnes with 30 was just, golly, 11 of 13, 6 of 7 from behind the arc. Did not do much else, rebounding, assisting, all that, but didn't need to. 30 points like that. The Black Falcon was coasting.
Yeah.
Cruising last night. Sabonis, a very quiet 12, 10, and 8.
Yeah.
Just 12, 10, and 8 in 32 minutes, just kind of did his thing. Dang near got himself another triple-double. But I think unsung heroes. Malik Monk, as you said earlier,
he filled the stat page.
14, 7, and 6 to go with the team's only block off the bench in 26 minutes. That's fantastic. And let's give a little bit of a shout out. 14 points in 16 minutes to go with 5 boards and 2 assists for Trey Lyles. He really has I think out of anyone on the team, I think you can make an argument he's done the most with the least, and Trey Lyles is, and I don't mean this physically, he's not sexy.
Right.
We don't gush over Trey Lyles. I'm not trying to say he's, the next coming to Larry Bird and Wilt Chamberlain, but he really has earned his money this year.
He has, and he's done it. He's really fit into that role, and he's kind of been asked to play 4, 5, maybe even 3s. He's kind of been everywhere for Coach.
No, he has. And speaking of Coach, you talked a little bit. You mentioned him working on different rotations. Here he is specifically on Chimezie Metu.
You may play big minutes, but right now you're slotted roughly for 6 to 8 minutes to give Domas for rest. So every time you step on the floor, just leave it out there. As a backup center, you're faster than everybody that you're going to play against. You're more athletic than anybody you're going to play against, and you're extremely skilled. And so, we just need you to keep the game simple, but bring your energy, your length, your athleticism, your versatility to the court. And that's all we're asking. And he was good for us for a while. And I just thought he took his foot off the pedal a little bit. And, and so I went to Rashawn, but both those guys, no matter if they're playing or not playing, the thing that I like is they've both been extremely professional.
Yeah, they have. And I think that's how you stay out of the doghouse. Just stay, it's the Katie Thomas special. Just stay ready. Stay ready, because they'll call you eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he made it sound like this was what he was going to do now going forward. I mean, Metu kind of deserved it in one game, but I also don't know, to your point, like if it's sustainable. Like if he has an off game, do they go back to Holmes? I don't think they fully answered that. It's still going to be a heavy dose of Sabonis, and this game ended up being comfortable. But in the run that I think mattered most was the first time Metu was in. It was still a game that could have been won by the Magic, and Metu was great.
I think you said that perfectly, because the crowd, you, me, I'm sure everybody, this was a comfortable win, but the Magic cut it to 12. Magic, I think they cut it to 8 at one point. There were different moments. And by the way, we saw the return of the early timeout from Mike Brown. I think Chimezie Metu is and I think this has kind of been the theme. He's the backup big right now until he is not.
Yeah,
that's it.
Just keep riding, I would say, the hot wave, but whoever that guy that's giving you the production.
Just like Len was, just like Rashawn was for a moment. There's Nimi Keita was going to get some minutes. Haven't seen him in a while. I get this overwhelming feeling, and maybe it's just because I'm hoping that this is all just fun and games until Rashawn Holmes reestablishes himself, but it's been a while.
It has been a while. He hasn't clearly done that.
And I hate it because I love Rashawn and I love that family so much. We'll take a break. When we come back, hey, Coach Brown said he got the defensive improvement he needed. Harrison Barnes, though, the star of the game yesterday, echoed that as well. We'll hear from him and then Frankie Cartoscelli, Sactown Sports Kings insider, right after this.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprouts, online at goodfeet.com.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pie customer.
As a small business, we're always looking for ways that we can offer the quality product and get some cost savings.
Meet Michelle from J.J. Pfister Distilling Company, a small business in California. When looking for workers' comp coverage tailored to the company's needs, she discovered Pie Insurance.
We heard about Pie Insurance being geared for a small business, gave Pie a call, and ended up switching.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypie.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate, so your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
We saved about 30% off of our workers' comp insurance when we switched to Pie.
It's as easy as pie to get the savings you deserve. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pie or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypie.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2022 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
ATM Mortgage.
When times get tough, you need a lender that gets even tougher. Hi, Jeff Charbel with ATM Mortgage. We can still show you an affordable path to home ownership, and all you have to do is call 916-338-9400. That's 338-9400, or online at atmmortgage.net.
ATM Mortgage.
License under California CFL and MLS 223-4889.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10, touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance. Drug-free and surgery-free. The Gainswave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at Gainswave can do for you. Visit gainswavecalgary.ca.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
It was David Pollock on the broadcast last night, former Bengals player, cut short by injury. Great analyst. And he shows him saying, I think George is taking over college football. And then the camera pans, and you realize Nick Saban's
on the desk with him, yeah.
Wasn't a great look from Nick. He didn't like hearing that. 2 in a row.
Yeah. I remember that very same sentiment. I don't know if it was said by David Pollock, but others. Dabo Sweeney and Clemson have taken over college football. And they had a great couple-year run, and they're not irrelevant.
Sure.
But I think the very next year, then Saban won a couple in a row. So it's like, I mean, Alabama's not dead.
Don't you feel like everyone just borrows college football from Nick?
Yeah.
And then you got to give it back.
Right.
Like I'll ask you right now, you got to bet one way or the other. Who's
Alabama.
Right. Same here. I don't have anything to base. I mean, a little bit to base that on.
Yeah.
But
if I'm betting Alabama. Georgia's terrific.
Yes. They're losing a few players next year, including the consensus. I don't know if they'll go number 1, but Mel Kiper's best player in the draft. I mean, that's what happens. By the way, preseason poll, Pro Football Focus, Florida State number 4. Ugh.
For next year already?
For next year already, they're number 4.
UCLA's 3.
You know who's number 5?
Who?
You're not going to like it.
Oh, that's all right. 5th?
Yeah. I'm
okay with them being there. I'm surprised they're not putting them 2.
Yeah. Well, the Sacramento Kings are, according to PointsBet, plus 650 today to win the Pacific Division, meaning if you put $100 down, you would bring home 650 if they did that. So still a little doggy there.
Okay.
I don't necessarily disagree. At some point, Phoenix is going to get healthy.
Yeah. Curry's coming back.
Yeah. And listen, when
Warriors.
The Kings beat the Magic 136-111, the Magic would just beat Golden State. So that means the Kings are 40 points better than the Warriors.
That's what the numbers say.
That's exactly how that works. Mike Brown, you heard from him in the last segment talking about the defense and how they need to step it up. Harrison Barnes is also not only in agreement, but he knows they need to protect the paint.
Really just putting in conscious effort, not even from the last time we played them, but probably our last 4 games. Teams have just been scoring in the paint at a ridiculous clip. So I think for us, really making a concerted effort to say, look, guys are going to have to finish in front of us, but also guys are going to have to finish outside the paint. Giving up 60 points, 70 points, 78 points. It's not a recipe for success for us.
Well, let's not forget, too, Orlando gave up 136 points.
Yes.
And 69 of those were 2 3-pointers.
Right.
As the Kings set the record. So Mike Brown not just talking about defense, also talked about the record as well.
And, for us to get that record, I thought Malik had some great looks out on the floor that were two of the 4 should have dropped. And, so it could have been higher. And the way we spaced the floor, the way we touched the paint tonight, the way we shared the ball, I don't want to sound, cocky or anything like that, but it doesn't surprise me with the shooters that we have and the way our guys know how to play on the offensive end of the floor. So, anytime you can get a record, especially in this business, as long as the NBA has been around, it's a good thing. But 42 points in the paint.
So the Magic are part of the lows of the NBA. They had that interesting win streak. I want to say it was 6 games, and they beat Boston twice, like over a weekend, including in Boston. They had that weird streak where they beat some very quality teams. Now, Jason, on December 13th, after beating the Suns, the Houston Rockets were 9-18. Today, they are 10-30. They are 1-12 in their last 13. And they've been sitting around since Sunday. They're in Sacramento right now, and they will play the Kings Wednesday and Friday. You and I are in full agreement on the difficulty of beating a team twice in a row.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like it would be the worst loss of the year if they lose either of these games to Houston. Even worse than the Charlotte loss, because Charlotte was getting healthy and that record was not necessarily this record, I think, is reflective of Houston.
It's the youngest team.
Yes.
They have Eric Gordon besides him, who's been a Rocket for a long time. It's a very, very young roster, but that's by design. They've kind of done a reboot from the Chris Paul, James Harden, those are the days that they had a chance at a title, never happened. So they've cleaned it up, building from within, And, hearing even Harrison and Coach Brown there recently talking about the points in the paint, it reminds you of like what they're capable of. But it's almost like, hey, we've forced it, we've reinforced it. You listened for a night, you adjusted, you did a good job.
Yes,
but it's still who they are. There is a weakness there.
Yes,
and so that can revert. Now I don't know if Houston will exploit that, or if it's the Spurs or the Lakers or whoever's coming up. Someone will do it again, and they'll have to be the redirect. It's just you hope you can limit that. But the Kings needed that because they were giving up. Lakers were going right down the teeth of the defense, the Hawks, all these other teams. So you just want to make sure Houston doesn't do that.
Well, and with Houston too, if you're Mike Brown, all you're saying in the locker room, I think pregame, or most of what you're saying is, we have to come out and dominate in the first. There is nothing more important than dominating in the first. Regardless of what you may say about this team, and you said it best, they are incredibly young. Jabari Smith Jr., who was the presumptive number 1 pick coming into the draft, number 3 last year. Green, Porter Jr., and a guy who I think, honestly, of all the young bigs we talk about, in hindsight's 2020, we picked Davion Mitchell, but there is a part of me that Alperen Şengün playing with Domantas Sabonis would be quite the combo. And I'm really honestly looking forward to the most intriguing thing to me about these games is watching Şengün and Sabonis, because Şengün is a guy that's not on a lot of radar. I honestly, when he came out in the draft, was worried, especially defensively, plus not really you don't see a ton of Turkish league talent come over here historically. It's not like EuroLeague in general. Boy, was I wrong. I think Şengün is going to be one of the future bright stars of this league. Not a Jokic, not a Sabonis, but maybe in that mold. It's going to be fun to watch those two match up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's really fun to watch Sabonis just on a nightly basis to see, just see him go to work, see who he battles, see how many times he's going to hit in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens every game.
Every game.
Night. He actually got a little heated last night.
I don't blame him.
More so than normal.
You can, and it's always, how like when a boxer gets hit, you know he got hurt when he shakes his head like it didn't hurt him. You go, okay, well that must have hurt him.
Yeah.
You can tell Sabonis is starting. We picked up some of his tells now. When he's about to lose it, he smiles. He smiles. That's what he smiles. His eyes are not smiling, but he's smiling and shaking his head, coming up and down the floor, and you can see that's just how he shows his frustration. And I don't blame him, dude. I don't have a stat on this, but I'm pretty sure he's taken more. Sorry. He's gotten hit in the face.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. More than any other player in the NBA this year by a long shot.
Yeah. I mean, I can't back it up with a number, but I believe it. I mean, we see every game, and it happens every game to him.
And what is it with Kings bigs taking shots to the face like that? Last year was Holmes, especially with the eyes, man.
Yes,
true. That's why he's have the goggles now. Safety.
Yeah. It's what's
we should get Domas a face mask.
Yeah.
And a helmet.
I feel like the face mask would work on Domas.
It would.
Yeah.
Do you think it'd make him more intimidating?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, I think all you have to do is feel Sabonis in the paint once to understand how intimidating he really is, because he's a brick.
Yeah.
But he doesn't come off as like looking at Domantas Sabonis. Just a nice guy with pretty eyes and a nice little hair. You know, he doesn't look like a mean. And then, end of the game, these guys are all hopping in the ice bath because Sabonis has bruised him up all over the place. But yeah, it's like in the Laker game when he took the forearm to the head, and and of course, is it all a coincidence? I was talking to my wife about this the other day. Like, is there something about Domantas's game that opens him up to getting hit in the face a lot? I don't know. I can't put my finger on it, but man, it was Rashawn, and now, as you said, it's Domantas. There's something there with him getting hit all over the place.
Yeah, and I know it becomes more and more frustrating when seemingly he's not getting a lot of the calls on that. That's the problem.
Justin on the text line at 916-339-1140. I'm not impressed with that win last night whatsoever. It didn't show me anything after losing those games previously at home. Well, listen, I don't know what to tell you, Justin. I hear listen, I get it. Like, okay, you beat Orlando. Yeah, I understand that, but
I don't get it.
Jason doesn't get it.
Yeah.
I would say this: all you can do after those losses is you have to win.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess my question to Justin would be, what would have been impressive?
They'd beat the Bucks by 20.
Okay, so they had no chance to impress you beating it. Playing Orlando.
I think that's what he. I think if Justin were here right now, he would say, "Yeah, no, that's not going to impress me." And then I would assume that if they beat Houston twice, that will not impress him.
Oh. And then the Spurs, like they can win. So they could win. They won last night. If they beat Houston twice, follow that up with a win against the Spurs, 4-game win streak, have their best record in. I think it's going to be about 19 years if they do all that. Not impressed.
Not impressed.
Nope.
Not impressed. As George St. Pierre said once, I am not impressed with your performance. That's Justin on the text line. You can also follow us on YouTube as well. We are broadcasting live. YouTube, just say Sactown Sports in your search engine, and you can watch us live. You can watch us recorded. And, of course, podcasts available wherever podcasts are available.
And subscribe to all the above.
Oh, yes. Hit subscribe. We all subscribe to our guy Frankie.
Yes, we do.
On the Sacramento Kings. He joins us right after this.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sactown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox. You're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Happy holidays to all of you. And my friends at American Energy have a present. They want to make sure you and your family are safe this winter with a $49 furnace tune-up to ensure your system is running safely and efficiently. Plus, if you're ready for a new one, get half off with American Energy's 50% off furnace special. When you purchase a whole home HVAC system, get your furnace half off. 0% financing, payment plan options available. There's no reason to keep putting off making your home safe, warm, and comfy for you and your family this holiday. American Energy has been serving Sacramento since 1981. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and that is extremely important to me and should be important to you. Supporting local business because local business supports you. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. AmericanEnergyAir.com, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Hi, guys. It's Mark with Coastside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. Our WAVE technology is backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. It's been shown to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, but we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This unprecedented offer is worth $600, but it's free to those who call in the next 2 minutes. Call 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000. Guys, put a stop to your ED and get your life back. Call Coastside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 916-603-2000. That's 916-603-2000.
People of the world, I am Chef Jose Andres, and I'm here with an important message. I'm speaking to you from downtown Quezon. As tonight gets dark, people are gonna go to their homes without electricity, without water, and very often without much food to eat. This winter is gonna be brutal, not only for the people of Quezon, but for many, many Ukrainians all across Ukraine, but especially in the places that they've been recently liberated near the front lines. The people of Ukraine right now are fighting for freedom. We're here with a very simple ask. World Central Kitchen will be able to keep doing the work we've been doing over the last 8-9 months with your support, with your help together. I know we will not leave the people of Ukraine alone.
This time check is brought to you by West Coast Men's Health Acoustic Wave Therapy.
from the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Huerter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then
boom, with Jason Ross.
Jay, hey, my headset's.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
All right, Justin responds. He says, all right, fine, Davion took 3 charges, and he got the 3-point record. Someone else said, no one asked Justin. And more than a few Justin Twain references saying that he's sitting over there singing Shania's song. That don't impress me much.
Okay.
He says Justin says he's just, it really hurts when we lose to the Lakers, and I'm still bitter about the Hawks game. Those were really tough losses to absorb. Well, I agree with you. They're tough losses.
100%.
Live for the moment.
But they didn't lose 3 in a row.
No.
They beat Orlando.
That's right. And they're above 500. And they're in first place in the Pacific. And I'm not saying that means, that's kind of the old, hey, well, at least we saved the team. I get it. But, don't stay in the middle.
Yeah, I guess some expectations have been built, which is okay. But again, before the first game happened, if I could tell you they'd be 3 games above 500 nearing the midpoint of the season, every single person would have signed up for that.
Every single one. Yeah. I might have donated a pinky.
Wow. And you didn't have to do it.
Did not have to do it. Well, this guy, I don't even know. Is he currently holding up his fence? Is he braving the storm? We missed him yesterday, but he joins us right now. Sactown Sports Kings insider Frankie Cartoscelli. Good morning, Frankie.
Good morning, fellas. Yeah, I'm glad you all made it in safely. I was talking on Twitter to some folks there, and I asking, or if you're not from the area, is this normal? I mean, I grew up in Yuba City. We never experienced anything like this. I'm not sure if you guys ever had anything like this. I know there was, I think it was 97, there was a flood.
Yes.
Or going to be a flood. But I was in 3 at that point. So I don't really remember that. But pretty scary stuff, fellas. Glad you guys are doing okay.
Yeah, I threw in. He was 3. Yeah. We had Eileen.
I remember.
We had Eileen Javora on earlier from our content partner, KCRA 3. She said, actually, this isn't as bad as it was, about a decade ago? Not that long ago, actually, 5 years ago, when the Orville Dam broke and there was all kinds of craziness. Just the wind here is insane. My backyard's jacked. I know you had a fence issue. So by the way, I don't know if you just got the group email, but power is back on here. Yeah. So
I got the email. I'm happy the power's back on. The building's being put, there's a little bit of damage, being put back together, but we're rebuilding over there at 1140. We're doing all right.
We're rebuilding 20. It's a fine brick by brick. As the Kings have been rebuilding this year, a culture, rebuilding expectations, and oh golly, so much more. As you saw a win last night, Frank, you said it yesterday. I think it echoed. Everybody was saying it. Really. Sure was nice just to have a stress-free pretty consistent blowout victory where the starters could sit on the bench in the fourth. You had light the beam chance pretty early. It was very nice as opposed to their previous 3 wins where they won by a combined 4 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Are those games fun? I mean, they're fun when the Kings win, but for the most part, they're torturous when watching these games come down to not the last couple of minutes, really, but the last possession. I mean, these games the Kings have been either losing or pulling out at their end have come down to the last possession. And I think Kings fans could probably attest that they're tired of watching these games come down to whoever has the ball last or whoever gets the benefit of the whistle last, I guess, for some of these past games. But it was nice to have a game that the Kings should have won, that they just completely brought the hammer down. You have Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox combining for 23 points, but the Kings score 136. That just speaks to how deep this team is and how when they're on in all aspects that they're very dangerous. And guys like Malik Monk, Trey Lyles, and Chimezie Metu, of course, who was back in the backup center role, have big contributions off the bench. That's why the Kings were able to sit Fox and Sabonis down the stretch and let these bench guys kind of go out and get the 3-point record. So fun night, stress-free night in a game that the Kings seem like they were going to kind of, I think we've all been saying they've been playing with their food a little bit in some of these games. They've had big leads, but last night they didn't do that. They said, okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of business and beat a team that they should beat, because the Kings, again, they're in first place here on January 10th. If they're a first-place team that's late in the season, they need to act like it. I mean, this isn't really, to me, a fluke anymore. We're getting close to the All-Star break, and the Kings are a top 5 seed in the West. So winning games like last night are important.
Frankie, coach went to Metu. That was a change. We really hadn't seen him play in a while, and he got really good production from him. And I think kind of doubled down in the postgame saying, yeah, that I'm kind of want to see him be the fastest, backup big. He's faster, more athletic than any other backup bigs he's going to play. So do you think this sticks for a while with Metu kind of getting the call first until it has to change again?
I think it does. I mean, I think that Chimezie, his minutes earlier in the season when he was the backup center were, I think you have to say they're probably the most successful, which isn't saying a lot, but probably the most efficient that the Kings have been as far as the bench goes with Chimezie at the backup center. And he's someone that is, again, he's a lob threat. He comes last night and immediately, I think he had 6 points over his first 3 minutes, just cleaning up around the rim and on a lob. So 11 points, 9 boards, 14 minutes. I mean, is he this good of a rebounder consistently? No, he has not proven he's this good of a rebounder consistently. But Mike Brown and the team awarded him the defensive player of the game chain last night because of how great he was on the glass. So if he can go ahead and kind of dig deep and be that kind of presence, get some rebounds, he's athletic enough to do it. He just has to prove he can do it on a consistent basis. Yeah, I mean, the Kings, I think they can plug that hole until Monty McNair needs to make some decisions in the next couple of weeks. But it's not saying a lot, but Chimezie Metu right now, to me, is their best option. I was in the camp of letting Rashawn Holmes kind of try to figure things out and see what you can do. And he had some stretches where he looked okay, but there was more bad than good. I just don't think he's really built or he can't really fit the mold of this team in a backup role. I think he's someone that needs to go elsewhere, and I think he's someone that still can start. But Chimezie Metu for this team right now is athleticism. If he can rebound like he did last night or even half of what he did last night, that's going to help this team a lot in the long run.
Sactown Sports Insider on the Kings, Frankie Cartoscelli, joining us. Sean Salisbury coming up in just 8 minutes. Frankie, Houston coming up back-to-back. Not really. They get a day off, but you know what I mean. They play them twice in a row at home to finish off this version of the homestand. If they lose either of those games, is that just an abject failure? Is there any way around that? They have to win these two?
I mean, I think these are two that you would really – I don't want to say must wins. I mean, it's January. There's so much season to be played, but I don't want to say must win. Something I said similar to yesterday, but they're games that I think would really – it would alleviate some concerns because the team obviously losing the games to Atlanta, and I know it's second time of a back-to-back, but then also you lose to Washington and Charlotte last month. Beating a team like Houston, who is the worst team in the NBA right now, they're 10-30, that would really, really make me feel – I mean, I'd feel more confident for sure. I mean, last night's game was exactly what people wanted to see. The Kings beating a team by a lot that you should beat. Houston's even more so. And the fact that it's not a back-to-back, you do have that day in the middle. I know that the Kings are having a light practice today. They're going to take a little downtime. They've been playing a lot lately. It seems like they're playing every night. So beat these if you can take these two games against Houston, you have a game against San Antonio who struggled, a rematch with the Lakers. I mean, the schedule stays quote-unquote favorable. I don't want to say favorable because anybody in the NBA can beat any NBA team on any given night. But before you get to a stretch that includes Memphis and Philadelphia, you really want to take care of business, and especially at home. To me, when they came into last night's game, they were 11-9 at home. that's not acceptable to me. I mean, the Kings have such a good presence at home games. They had 10 straight sellouts. Even last night, in the middle of a stormy week in Sacramento, they were near a sellout. I think the arena was 95% full. So if you can come into Wednesday and Friday nights, the games against Houston, beat a team that you, again, should beat 3 in a row. Again, also that would pull the Kings 5 games above 500, which they have failed to do 7 times this year. They've been at 4 games over, and they've lost 7 straight when they try to go for 5 over. So getting that 5th game out of the way would be really huge. But yeah, to me, I don't want to say they need to take the next 2, but it'd be really, really great if they did. It'd be nice.
Frankie, of all the big offensive numbers yesterday, whether that's the 8 players in double figures, 39 assists, the franchise breaking 23 made threes, which one of those kind of jumped out to you the most?
I mean, the Kings are a good 3-point shooting team, and to me, the 3-point shooting franchise record. I mean, we saw it last year. We saw 22 last year. It just isn't really something that, I don't know. I don't want to be like saying I'm greedy with 3-point shooting, but I feel like the Kings are capable of doing more. I mean, even if their guys are on, if De'Aaron Fox has a better game offensively last night, maybe he knocks down a 3 or 2 more. But the distributing, to me, 39 assists, that's really impressive to me. I mean, when you finish a game with nearly 40 assists and you have multiple guys with 6 or more, I think they had Malik Monk at 6, Fox with 9, and Sabonis with 8. That just speaks to how great this team is at moving the basketball around. And when you move the basketball around, good things happen. This has been one of the better passing Kings teams in years. I think they're top 5, top 6 in the league in assists per game. That, to me, just speaks to the cohesiveness and how these guys know how to play together. They're comfortable playing together. To me, it's really just a matter of, the offense is there, and we saw last night. They have the shooting and they have the ability to move the basketball around. It's just locking in defensively. Last night, they gave up 111 points. I mean, I realized it had been that long, but that's the least amount of points they've given up in over a month since the Cleveland game when they gave up 95. So locking in defensively is, to me, going to be obviously, I mean, that's a very obvious statement, but they need to pick it up on the defensive end because the offense, the team's a very, I don't want to say elite, but they're top of the league offense. So the shooting, the passing were there last night, and it was fun to watch.
Frankie, last thing for you. Terrence Davis, in normal circumstances, you'd be wondering if a guy was in the doghouse or not. I don't know. I don't profess to know what's going on behind the scenes. But is it a doghouse thing? Is it a rotation thing? Is it there's just not enough minutes thing? I mean, even with Malik Monk out against the Lakers, the guy got 10 minutes, and he was 0-4. But Terrence Davis is a guy that was a pretty decent piece for this team early on, and it just seems like he's become invisible lately.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're trying to figure out, too. And I guess to me, it just seems like having Malik and TD both on the floor, it's a little redundant. I mean, they have some similar skill sets, and Malik has the upper hand in a lot of those. Distributing, I think, just as far as making the right plays, I mean, I think Terrence has had a couple of errors and made some mistakes over the past couple of times we've seen him. But I think it comes down to just what you need on the floor at that time. And right now, Mike Brown is choosing to go to KZ Okpala with his length and his defense over TD, who brings more of an offensive punch. And when you have Malik on the floor and you have KZ out there, it's going to be hard to kind of wiggle in TD when you already have the offense in Malik. But obviously, it does seem like the Kings are playing 4-on-5 when they have KZ on the floor. But again, defense is priority right now, and Mike Brown is going that route. And it makes you wonder if TD is one of those names that could be floated around in the next couple of weeks for the trade deadline. I mean, I think that's a possibility. He's on an expiring contract. I'm not sure if there's any interest with the Kings and TD staying together past this season. I'm not sure if that's something that's going to happen. But the fact that he's been this out of the picture for some time now, I think kind of gives you a hint of where they're going. But again, defense is a priority right now. And when you have someone like Malik Monk, who is one of the better bench scorers in the league at that position, technically TD and Malik share a position. You're going to get those minutes to Malik and try to plug those other holes defensively. And that's what Mike Brown's doing, especially with the recent addition of PJ Dozier. That's someone else we could see maybe take those minutes from TD because he brings length and defense. And again, that's the Kings' number one thing on the to-do list right now. You got to get better on defense, and TD is not really going to help that.
All right, well, check out Frankie as always digitally, not him himself, but of course all his work at Sactown Sports, in and out videos, writing, so much more. The best coverage of the Sacramento Kings you will find anywhere. Take care of that fence, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Oh, I will, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
All right, Thank you. Take care. What would you say to the TCU players if you were the coach stepping into that locker room, and just how far should the 49ers go in the playoffs this year? Sean Salisbury is going to answer all those questions in just 65 seconds.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. And Safe Credit Union. Let us put you first.
I'm in the great outdoors doing a little Dodge watching with Vince Bloom, the big guy at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge. Would you look at that? You know, those are some pretty high-powered binoculars you got there, Vince.
Yeah, I use them to spot all the Lasher license plates out there.
Well, there's bound to be a lot because, you are the big guy after all, and the big guy's known for making great deals on new Ram 1500 Bighorns and Longhorns, Tradesmen and Laramies, crew cabs and quad cabs, 4x4s and 4x2s.
I know. Hold on. I see another one.
Another what? Looked like it might have been a new Dodge Challenger.
I think so.
Or a new Dodge Charger. Elk Grove Dodge sells a ton of those, you know. And new Durangos, Chrysler Pacificas, Jeep Cherokees, and the new Grand Cherokee, Jeep Compass, Gladiators, and Wranglers, and the all-new Wagoneer. I've heard Elk Grove Dodge has great deals on those, too.
Oh, he's taken off.
Oh, I'm sorry. You lose him?
Oh, no. Just another happy customer migrating back to Elk Grove Dodge.
No surprise there, because for over 40 years, the name Lasher means a great deal.
Only at Lasher's Elk Grove Dodge and the Elk Grove Auto Mall and online at elkgrovedodge.com.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Rolling right along. Thanks to Frankie for joining us. Right now, America's guest, the hardest working man in the entire business, fresh off of his 4-hour show in Houston, the one, the only Sean Salisbury. Sean, I would imagine your holidays were great. Love from everybody here. And I thought about you last night, my friend, because I still maintain that being a head coach in college football, if not beyond, is in your future. If you were walking into that TCU locker room when the clock hit 000 after the fourth quarter, what do you say to that team, my friend?
Two things. At halftime, I would have addressed them after the game was out of hand, and I would have simply said in the speech, at that point in time, yelling and screaming and throwing stuff doesn't do any good. I would have told my team at halftime, not the, oh, hey, hang in there, we're a comeback team. We know all that. I would have simply said, who do you want to be remembered as? Who do you want to be remembered as in 2022 and 2023? And then I'd have walked out and let them discuss among each other, and we'd have gone back in the second half. At the end of the football game, I would have simply said your self-worth is in our success, and your identity is not locked up into one game. We got beat by a good team. We didn't play our best football, but don't let it diminish or shrink how great you were this year. The things you've built and what you've done to put TCU back on the map. And we had career years, and I would tell them how proud I am of them. And I wouldn't make it too long because it stings, and they were curb stomped last night. But it can't diminish the way they played this year and the resilience they've showed. They just ran into in truth, Dave, and I was pulling for TCU because I know how good Georgia is. That's more heart than head because you know that Georgia's the better team.
Right.
I if they played 10 times, Georgia's winning all of them. Just so we know, it's the difference in programs right now. But Sonny Dykes, they got a lot to build on, and they did something pretty special. But they didn't close out. But I would want them to understand their identity wasn't locked up into one 60-minute game.
Sean, on the Georgia side of things, sometimes a champion wins, and the way they won like that, we jump to grand statements, captures, prisoners of the moment. But, are they historically one of the great teams? And maybe a follow-up, is this just the start of a long-term run Georgia's won 2 in a row. Are they going to be threats every year here for the next 5 years or so?
Yes, they are. Their coach is off the charts. You heard him pregame when he simply said, we are going to play with aggression, and we are hunting. And that's all you can tell he doesn't take any crap. He was hunting, and that team hunted. And I can tell you that I said last week on my show that you do not want to be on Kirby Smart's practice field, even after you beat Ohio State, because that's not the way he wanted to win that game. And I can guarantee you they had a miserable, meaning competitive, changed their focus and shift their paradigms after last week's Ohio State game, that they came in ready to play, and it was evident from the get-go. Yeah, they're historic, and here's why. First off, think. They lost eight guys on defense to the first round. They held a team that scores over 40 a game to 7 points, and that happened in the first quarter. They went 55 unanswered, or should I take that back? Yeah, 50. They scored 65. They went 55, counting the field goal. They had 55 unanswered points. So their quarterback is legendary for what he's done in 4 playoff games. He's the MVP in all of them. They retool. Look at the youth on their football team on the offensive line. They dominate you. They are just getting started. I don't know if they'll win 3 in a row. It's tough, but they seem to be focused. And after last week, got back into it. They were college football's best team, and they proved it. So we have to. You start talking about legendary teams that have won back-to-back. It's hard to win back-to-back, and they did it in nasty fashion. So, yeah, well-coached. Offensive coordinator is as good as there is in college football in Monken, and they've got playmakers all over the field. And here's the biggest key, that they don't just beat you physically. A lot of times we talk about you to death. I mean, they play in space, they're fast, and they sent a loud message that they were going to make sure that you played with your jaw hanging down and your eyes wide open, because they sent fear into TCU last night. Whether people want to admit it or not, that was an overwhelming performance by Georgia on TCU.
Sean Salisbury with us. Sean, looking at the numbers, I think Schefter and a few others put out a tweet about this. Matt Rule and Cliff Kingsbury this year, Urban Meyer the year before. We've seen it. Petrino, Nick Saban, Spurrier, Schiano, Butch Davis. The numbers on college coaches splitting for the NFL are terrible. And you've got, your Jim Harbaugh here and maybe your Pete Carroll, but as was noted, they cut their teeth in the NFL, generally both as players and or coaches. Why is it that in almost all cases, these tremendous college coaches can't cut it in the NFL? And is that an outlier, or do you think there's something there that's a full-blown trend?
Well, I think that the evidence tells you it's a trend, and you're right. Jim Harbaugh was NFL first college. When it talks about where he, I know he coached at either UCSD or USB, but he basically, they went to the Raiders. He was an NFL guy first and a college guy second. I don't know if we could bottle it up and sell it, we'd probably make a lot of money. To me, it comes down to, one is when you get a job, like think about the guys we're talking about too. Some of the programs, Pete Carroll at Southern Cal, Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Think about the guys, Nick Saban at Alabama and LSU. They're at places where you get 22 first-round picks a year. You go to the NFL, normally when you get the job, guess what you're going to get? A bad football team that's rebuilding. And sometimes in college, when you have success, you get to be the dad, the general manager, and all these recruits, and now with name, image, and likeness. When you go to the pros, it's grown-ass men. You don't babysit them. They go on there. They may not have the same priority, and some may. But you also have to understand, when you go to the NFL, you're not in charge of the player. The general manager usually is. Wow. So in high school, you go recruit the guy. You're the final say. Guys are doing everything. He said, the general manager, you may love a player. Harbaugh may love a player, and the general manager say, no, but I don't. So less control, and sometimes that can be a good thing, but sometimes not. And normally these guys that are all left, Matt Rule had rebuilt Baylor. They're all going from a top 20 team where they have great players they're going to win every year to an NFL team that they normally get the job because that team is putrid. And we have zero patience now. 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. And by the time you just start to get your guys in, somebody else comes in and capitalizes on them. It's a tough gig, and that's why. And I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Sean, in our final minute, want to ask you about the Niners. Hot team coming in. They got the 2 seed. They get Seattle, so third look at them. What do you like about their chances of getting out of the NFC?
I like them a lot. And I know you take a look at the quarterbacks in the AFC and the quarterbacks in the NFC. In truth, I'm not talking about the team that they're on, Jalen Hurts in Philly. But if I said, what quarterback in January, February do you trust the most in the NFC? And you know who you're going to say? The dude who's on the team that finished less than 500, Tom Brady. I think they're beating the Cowboys. The NFC, while good players, is a little bit simpler. The AFC route's brutal. So I love the 49ers. They are well coached. They are in rhythm. They've got belief that Brock Purdy can make plays that aren't just the basic, well, don't hurt us, but he can help win games. And their defense is suffocating and smothering. I think they can. And with a little help, and I think you're going to see a couple upsets in the first weekend. If Brock Purdy plays aggressive but smart football and this defense does what they've done all year, the 49ers, I think, are as good as anybody in the NFC.
And Sean Salisbury is as good, if not better. He's better than anybody on the radio waves, and we look forward to talking to him throughout the playoffs as well. Great job, my friend, as always. Always appreciate the time. We never take it for granted. You have yourself a wonderful week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. That is Sean Salisbury. We are late for a break. Halfway point for the Kings at home. Have they established a home court advantage? We'll answer that next.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sactown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Eileen Javor in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. After a nasty line of thunderstorms this morning went through, we still have the chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day today, likely some drying into tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
When it comes to your sewer, what goes down must come out. Get a detailed video inspection absolutely free with any sewer drain cleaning and keep life flowing in the right direction. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Welcome, Doug Christie here for the Good Feet Store with a question. How is the game of basketball like the Good Feet Store? And the answer is the very best basketball players do it all. Shoot, defend, rebound, they do it all. And the Good Feet Store does it all too. Good Feet manufactures their own line of arch supports, over 300 styles, sizes, and flexibilities. Good Feet arch support specialists at every store personally fit every customer for free with no obligation. Lastly, Good Feet sells its arch supports exclusively at over 200 Good Feet stores nationwide. Sore feet, aching back, knee or hip pain, even plantar fasciitis? When nothing else works, come to the Good Feet Store and experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville off Nut Tree Parkway by Sprouts, online at goodfeet.com.
It's hard to find a better selection of 4x4s in stock and ready to drive home today than you'll find at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. New truck prices keep rising. M&S invites you to tour their selection of super clean 4x4s and trucks and save thousands. Tacomas, F-150s, Jeeps, Rams, Silverados. Great deals today on hundreds of 4x4s, SUVs, and muscle cars. First-time buyers are welcome. M&S Auto Sales, El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. MSAutogroup.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, continues their $500 primetime football giveaway through the playoffs. That's $500 per game for the late games played Saturday and Sunday night. Still located conveniently downtown in a friendly environment for the best food, best service, and best actions. It's Capital Casino, open 24/7. And please, as always, remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, don't you stop on the party. This is most, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always stocked. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and things, so when chicks feel fly. So what? wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Mega Chevy Used Car Superstore has one of the largest selections in the area. Over 275 available vehicles, including a great selection of GM certified. And if you're selling, Mega Chevy is buying. See them all at megachevy.com. Find a new road.
Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. With your Sactown Sports headlines, I'm Jay Mars. The Sacramento Kings headed into last night's game with Orlando desperately needing a win on their home court and got it.
As the final seconds tick away, Orlando not even going to try to do anything about this. And the Kings, for a fourth consecutive time, have now defeated the Orlando Magic. Sacramento has won 10 of the last 13 against Orlando. Jamal Mosley coming down to congratulate Mike Brown. A warm embrace there. And we'll get set to chat with one of the victorious Kings as Sacramento wins this one 136-111.
The Kings set a franchise record 23 three-point field goals made, led by Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Kevin Herter, who combined to hit 15 of the 23. The Kings are back in action tomorrow at home against the Houston Rockets. First baseman Brandon Belt has agreed to a one-year deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. The now former Giant and one-time All-Star was an integral part of the 2012 and 2014 World Series championship teams and had been the team's primary first baseman since his rookie year in 2011. The Georgia Bulldogs won their second straight national title last night in a blowout win over TCU.
Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a second consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7.
Bulldogs quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns while rushing for an additional 2 TDs. Those are your headlines. Back to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
Why don't more people like these Gray City jerseys? I love them. They're amongst my favorite of all time.
I'm a fan.
I love the neon purple. I think it was an accidental representation of the beam, but still, let's go with it. Well, I maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to take any credit away from the folks down there, but I want to say it was a happy accident because these things were made. A lot of people don't understand, and why would they? Because it's not readily available info. But just a quick note on jerseys. They're made 2 years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, there's a whole process you have to go through with Nike and the NBA, and whatever they want to do now is 2 years down the road.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people have said, well, we've got to have beam jerseys. Well, you can't just get beam jerseys.
Yeah, in 2025.
Right, which is lame. I don't think it should be like that, but that's not under the Kings' control. That's the NBA and Nike. But then it's also like, okay, well, if they make their city jerseys beam-based in 2 years, I don't know. What if the beam is done by then? What if the Kings are 18 and 90?
One and done year of the beam. I don't know how the beam's
I don't either. I don't either, but I think it was kind of a happy accident.
Yeah.
That there it's kind of beamy. I love the color scheme. I love the whole thing about it. But
yeah,
God, I almost hear more from the tiny yet loud group of rebels that like the stupid gold jerseys.
I've never been really there's way more people way interested in uniforms. I'm like,
I'm with you.
Like it or I don't. This one I like.
I think you and I both agree that, that's exactly how it is. I like this. I don't like that. They can come out in like leopard Speedos if they're winning. I don't care.
Well, that's true. I try to understand it sometimes. Like I did not understand a couple years ago. The red. I didn't hate them, but I didn't understand it.
I passionately
hated them. Yeah. The gold I was not a fan of. And you and I have had you're not a fan of baby blue. I love it, but they don't have it now. I like the grays are good.
I would say this, and this is where we sound like well, I do, you don't, entitled radio host, but I would say this, all of the City Connect stuff, they've sent us samples every year.
Mm-hmm.
Not this year.
No. Interesting. Noted.
See what's under their tree for Christmas next year.
Yeah. But you're right. We've talked to people that are involved in some of these things, and the amount of thought that, like, you just think, oh, let's put this together. It's like, wow, there's like stories behind this. And I went, but if that has to be explained that much, like, again, I'm very much cool colors. That looks good. Like when they always show everybody's city editions every year, I just kind of do a quick, that one looks cool.
Right.
Like, I don't know. Oh, that represents the, the 3 keys of the corner of the state down here. And I'm like,
never knew that.
I don't, if you too much explanation. That blue looks good with that green. Awesome. That's pretty much what I do when I look at uniforms.
I'm always going to wonder if they still got the mock-up somewhere. The once upon a time there was a mock-up. This is years ago of a green jersey.
Wow,
because it was a trees environmental green energy
City
arena
trees
type of thing. Yeah, exactly. I don't know that I could.
Yeah,
I don't know that I could handle green.
Right.
What I could handle though is a home court advantage. Once upon a time, the best years of this team, and even in some of the not so best years of this team, you came in and you got throttled. More often than not, the other team got throttled at home. That's Arco Arena, baby. Best home court advantage perhaps in the NBA for many, many, many years. The Kings are 12-9 at home this season. They are 12-9, and when you extrapolate that with the road, they are 9-9. Jason, by the numbers, they have not built a home court advantage.
No, not by win-loss percentage. I think they have. Kind of now we're ingraining this culture thing. Like the beam is a thing. Some fans are going for the beam, which means they win and they wait for that moment. And they're kind of changing that every night. They're competitive in almost every home game. A lot of them have come down to the end. Last night they didn't. So much so that I almost found like, were the fans bored? Like we had a legitimate good version of the Wave for anybody that cares about the Wave. I'm like, how did this happen? And it wasn't half-hearted. I will give them that. Like, people totally got into it for some reason.
This is the biggest fight Scott Moak and I get into. He loves it.
Yeah.
I think it's garbage.
Well, because it's not every game. Like,
Get out of here.
Are we really doing the Wave? But they were
California Dodger.
They
Wave.
were doing it with fervor.
Yeah.
With passion.
I'm all for fans having fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And by the way, I don't really care. It's not hurting anyone.
So if you were at the game last night and the Wave was going as it was,
double middle fingers.
You're not waving.
Waving. Yeah, I'm waving the bird.
So you're part of it, but you're just doing.
No,
it
I'm
with
waving.
gesture.
No, I'm not. No, that's it.
Aaron Fox stood up. I saw him do it.
I fully acknowledge that it's such an old man take on my part. I just don't like seeing the Wave in Sacramento. Come over there. Like we came up with the beam. We're the ones that do Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
I don't like adopting LA stuff.
Okay.
Is that where it started? Wasn't it the A's?
I don't know where the Wave started.
It was either the A's or the Dodgers, and my brain is punching me right now saying it was the A's that did it long, long, long ago. Either way, it's just, I don't know, man. Figure out another Wave.
Yeah. Are you pro beach ball at the game? No? That's fun.
Watching the game. Yeah, you're beach ball and your waves. And
I'm watching the game. I'm eating my popcorn and brownies.
Yeah, with your suntan lotion and your coconut oil, your beach ball.
We need entertainment. Throwing out basketballs.
You know what's entertaining? Winning ball games.
It is. Last night we lost the Kings sellout streak was at 7, so it ended last night.
Did it really?
It did. I was a little surprised.
It's more an Orlando problem than a Kings problem, I think.
Maybe, but I know earlier this year, like when Detroit was a Sunday.
That's
Detroit,
true.
They're like, hey, it's sellout. I'm like, nah, I don't think. No, Detroit, it's a sellout today. I'm like, really?
Bagley.
Yeah.
That was the draw at Bagley.
But I think that the fans are showing up. Yeah. I think there's an energy there. The players acknowledge it. So I think they're building the elements. The record hasn't reflected it. But I think other teams have acknowledged that. They're like, man, that crowd. So I think they're doing the right things. This team is fun to watch. I will say that. They can be stressful and torturous, but they have the elements to build a good home court.
Yeah, I want to be clear here. Some people can take stuff weird. Any issues, coincidental, not coincidental, whatever, on why the Kings aren't more dominant at home, there are, I'm sure, reasons. Some we know, some we can't put our fingers on, some that maybe are just coincidences. I haven't looked at their strength of schedule at home versus their strength of schedule on the road, for example. I don't know how many of them back-to-back. I don't have that in front of me to make that deep of an educated guess. I do know one thing. The lack of a greater home field advantage being established has nothing to do with fan support.
Correct.
The fans this
not
year,
here at least.
Not here.
Yeah.
No. The fans this year, I haven't been to every game at every NBA arena. I can't imagine a fan base being go back to the Kevin Herter go-ahead shot a couple of weeks ago, and that made it all around. It was so great. It's where social media is awesome. Herter hits the shot. Mark Jones on the call with Katie. It distorted the speakers.
Yeah.
It was so loud. Who was that against? It was a regular season. Was it Utah or Denver? Excuse me. Was it? Was it?
That was the Denver Utah game.
Okay.
I can't remember which.
Either way, you're in late December. Now, I don't think that's happening in any other arena at that capacity, at that much loud. And between the light, the beam, and the light, the beam chants, between the defense, between the Keegan Murray, between all of it, just this fan base has willed this team, and the team knows it, and they say it regularly.
Yeah.
Every player is going to be like, our fans are the best. But players are going out of their way to talk about how this is, once again, it's a college gym. It's noisy. Any thoughts of Golden One, it wasn't going to be as loud as Arco Arena, I think, have been put to rest. It's not that. The fans have been fantastic. Right. It's sublime.
Yeah.
It's other things.
Yeah, it's winning more. It's the other thing. And I think they've done a good, the fans will get into Light the Beam, like you said, MVP, refs, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But they also, I think they're in game are accurate when the other team's shooting free throws and they're trying to make some noise. Heck, when they miss the first free throw, everybody wants cookies. I mean, they all go nuts for that. I just think the background of what you want, because there's plenty of other arenas you go into and like, is there a game tonight? Like they're not even making any noise in some of these arenas.
Well, and I think Kevin Herter said it a couple of weeks ago on the show. They'd gotten back, not from the last road trip, but I want to say the road trip before. They'd won that first home game. And I remember him saying that's the best crowd we've seen in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and I know I don't want to put words in his mouth, and I know he's certainly probably not going to say this, but also in a guy like Herter's case, imagine that you're coming from a fan base. I don't like ripping fan bases or disrespecting them as a rule. The Atlanta Hawks, that place is regularly a library.
Yeah,
they along with Phoenix have trouble selling out playoff games.
Right.
It's just, I've never thought Atlanta was a good NBA town and a good NBA crowd. Malik Monk's coming from the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Now, listen, no doubt they're there in the playoffs. They're there in the finals. Regular season, though, people are leaving early. Yeah. They're, kind of disinterested. They're there to be seen. They're there to be heard, type of thing. Right. So you got a lot of people that are coming in here for the first time. Guys like Fox and Harrison Barnes, they know the score.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, I think that's something they learn along the way. That if you come into Golden One Center, if you're Charlotte, if you're Washington, hell, if you're Atlanta or the Lakers, you're almost definitely not walking away with a W.
Right.
So we'll take a break. When we come back, we wrap things up. We've got news. We've got notes. Jay's got something very cool in store that I was not aware of, and so much more. We'll do that next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Lots of different things they provide, and this is the time to kind of reevaluate what's going on with your home. We've had some nasty wind, some rough storms. Hopefully everything is okay with your home. For us, we are very fortunate. Things have been hanging in there, lost some power a couple different times, but look, we're okay. And a large part of our peace of mind was because of last summer, late in the summer, when we decided to get a new roof. And when we connected with John, the owner, Joe, the roofing expert, we knew after talking to several different roofing companies that ACR Solar and Home Services was the right company to work with. The price point, 1, 2, obviously the deliverables, and then the end, what we got, the brand new roof. Curb appeal looks better, the roof looks great, and we've been able to handle all the treacherous weather that we've been having. So there could be other things. Of course, they do solar, but roofing, other home services, they provide a lot of different things. And I love their follow through. What they told us was going to happen happened every day. There was great communication. There was no guessing when people were going to show up. We knew they delivered and they came through on a consistent basis. They were very, very great for us. So if you're in that spot where you're in need of anything for your home, solar, roofing, whatever, check out acrsolar.com.
Folks, there's been some fumbles on the way to the big game, but he's been getting some help to get it done tonight. Here's the throw. And he's off to the races. He might go all the way. He's at the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. He did it, folks. He did it.
Regain and optimize your sexual performance, drug-free and surgery-free. The GainsWave treatment will help you get that bedroom touchdown. See what Dr. Dan Botha and his team at GainsWave can do for you. Visit GainsWaveCalgary.ca.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. You've heard me talk with my friend Shelby about real estate for a long, long time. You know what? Shelby's main goal? He just wants to help you save money no matter how. So what is Shelby doing right now with the real estate market all over the place? He's pivoting. Solarwithshelby.com. And you might be saying like, oh, God, solar. No, listen. Shelby's got it dialed in, especially if you're a PG&E customer. He can save you 30 to 50% off your bill, 30% federal tax credit, dollar for dollar. It comes back in cash. Protect yourself from inflation. These numbers could be going up and up and up. 100% financing. Yeah, they've got it. Nothing down, 30% tax credit, 25-year guarantee. What more do you need? Go to solarwithshelby.com. That's what you need. You need solar. Solarwithshelby.com. Save yourself some money today and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Individual rates, coverage offerings, and savings may vary. Subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all areas. Actual Pi customer.
The other workers' comp insurance company, they were going to reclassify our business, and then they were going to charge me $50,000.
Meet Natalie, owner of the carpentry shop. Shocked by an unexpected bill, she knew it was time to switch her workers' comp provider. That's when she found Pi Insurance.
When we got the quote back from Pi, it was a sigh of relief. They put us in a policy where we fit.
Is your small business overpaying for workers' comp insurance? See how much you could save at trypi.com. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified.
I'm grateful that there's a company out there that's willing to insure us little guys because every dollar counts.
With Pi Insurance, you get pricing and coverage made for small businesses. What are you waiting for? Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote in 3 minutes at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Air and Solar, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
Quick note from Lorenzo on the Twitters. Jason. The wave was first used in an NHL game in Denver back in 1979. Baseball did it in Oakland starting in 1981.
There you go.
So thank you. Who is hot?
Former NBAer Jared Jeffries.
I remember him.
Yes, spent 11 seasons in the association with the Wizards, Knicks, Rockets, and Blazers. Even played in 20 games with Michael Jordan his rookie season. Now you're probably wondering why the hex I'm mentoring Jared Jeffries. Well, yesterday,
why?
He was a contestant on The Price is Right.
Come on now!
Coming up, you won.
Oh, man.
Because you changed the very last number.
Man.
Let's see a red 7, please. Yes! What a good win. What a good win to start the show. Way to go. Let's get another contestant down here, George. Yes!
Jared Jeffries was really excited. He won a new car.
A new car!
I don't have the specs on the make and model, but congratulations to Jared Jeffries.
Oh, my God. That's fantastic. Jared Jeffries, 11th overall pick in the 2002 NBA draft. Good for him. What a car. What a
new car.
I want to know how much
retail value.
No, how much money did he make during his career?
Oh,
I have it here. The car was valued at $22,376. But he didn't make the Showcase Showdown.
He did not.
All right, and he won a car.
Thought he would have had an advantage too, especially spinning that wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, just 6'11".
Yeah. Who's not? TCU.
Wow.
Last night they lost by 58 points.
The worst.
In a football game, a really important one. That was the largest margin ever in a bowl game in college football history. And the only larger margin of victory over a top 5 opponent came in 1944 when number 1 Army defeated number 5 Notre Dame 59-0.
That was, did you say 44?
Yeah.
I thought I went back to 43. Maybe it was 45.
This wasn't that might be bowl game, but this is just overall a two top 5 teams playing each other.
Oh, no, I was looking at the national
there's
championship.
only one more game where there's been a larger margin of victory by 1.
So is it fair to say this is the biggest blowout in that type of game?
Yes.
Since World War II.
Yeah.
It is fair to say that.
Golly.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Jared Jeffries made $40 million in his NBA.
What's he going to do with a $23,000
we don't know
car?
how much of that money he has left. Let's be fair.
Now I'm kind of getting sad about Jared Jeffries being on Price is Right. Like I hope he still has some of that coin.
I mean, dude, if you, I would tell people go find the video. Like that dude was excited.
He was thrilled that he won.
You know what the NBA should do? I want to get off on a tangent, but just for 20 seconds. Would it be interesting if you could have rookies opt into a situation where they agreed to have like half of their money over the first 10 years of their career diverted into like some sort of super safe like investment that the investment fund the NBA ran that was like guaranteed 3, 4, 5, 6% return that got released to them like half when they're 30, half when they're 40. There should be a program like that. I'm tired of seeing
I think you should start it.
I should. I'm tired of seeing these kids come into the NBA at 19 and have all this money. I was an idiot when I was 19. I'd have been broke. I was an idiot. We all were idiots. Not Jason, probably.
No, Jason was super smart.
He was.
He went to Davis.
Well, all right. News and notes right now.
It's time for the news of the day.
Yeah.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
A lot to get to today. By the way, sponsors, your name here. I keep throwing that out. Call Scott Marsh. Get this thing sponsored. My goodness.
Just Google him.
Bernie Kosar bet $19,000 on the Browns-Steelers game. Well, he was also an announcer for the Browns. He's been fired. Which brings up the interesting question. Now, hold on a second. The NFL is basically making babies with the betting world right now. That's how close they are. Yet you're going to... I put it like this. I get it. You should not be tied to a team because Bernie Kosar, this isn't about protecting the Shield.
Right.
This is about the Shield's duties to the betting world. You should not have it. Bernie Kosar is open to and exposed to information that the rest of the world is not in advance. It's de facto insider trading. I think it sucks, and I think you should get a slap on the wrist and meant to. But I do agree, even though betting, I'm hearing a lot of people saying, well, betting, you see commercials all the time. You should. No, not if you work for a team. I don't think you should be able to bet on games.
And let me see. Didn't they lose?
Yeah. So he probably lost.
It's a bad day for Bernie.
Now, if he bet against the Browns,
right.
I understand a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming he bet on the Browns. So he lost $19,000. Also, wasn't Bernie Kosar on that one 30 for 30 broke or whatever it was with all the athletes and stuff that somebody had? Oh man, well,
Ron Bernard.
We mentioned this earlier. Why is that funny? Bernard.
I don't know.
It is his real first name.
Is it his real?
Yes,
Bernard
it is.
Kosar.
Yes, it is.
Keegan Murray, we said earlier, shot 5 of 6 from 3 last night. The Kings beat the Magic at Golden 1. He is now shooting 41% on 5.7 3-pointers attempted per game. That puts him on pace to become the first rookie in NBA history to shoot 40+% on 5.5 or more 3-point attempts per game. How about that?
How about that?
We love watching Domantas Sabonis, who I like to refer to as Diet Jokic. Here's what Diet Jokic did yesterday. He notched his 87th triple-double last night.
Not triple-double.
Huh?
Double-double?
No. His 87th career triple-double last night for Nikola Jokic. according to the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
He did it on 5 shots. He shot 100% from the field, 14 points, 11 rebounds, and a season-high 16 assists.
If I shoot, I shoot.
That is BANANAS.
He's pretty good.
5 shots, he gets a triple-double. The most watched Sunday night football season finale in 6 years, the Lions and Packers, averaging 23.4 million viewers. How about that?
It's pretty good.
Lions and Packers. I mean, that's
entertaining game.
Yeah.
And finally, maybe you saw this making the rounds yesterday, but somebody grabbed a Warner Brothers studio commissary menu from 1941.
Oh, say.
Dude, exactly. Jason, what do you think? We'll take some guesses here. What do you think a filet mignon, a beef tenderloin, what do you think it cost at the Warner Brothers Studios in 1941?
$6.99.
$6.99. Jay Bars.
$3.47.
$3.47. You're both way off. 95 cents. It was 95 cents. Hors d'oeuvres included imported caviar for also 95 cents. Assorted canapes for 75 cents. Anchovies for 55 cents. You can get all kinds of relishes, including hearts of celery and avocado, eggs, potatoes, and of course, specials. How about the manager's special? The manager's special is a where the hell is the manager's special? Because it was really, I had it right in front of me. Shut up. It was because it was like really, really gross. It was
super gross.
No, dude, it was super gross. It was like
this part we're gonna have to guess what's on it.
Cold baked ham, Swiss cheese, pickled beets. No, there was one that was like
free.
It was ham, chicken. Oh, here we go.
They
Ham,
paid you to eat it.
ham, chicken, and peanut butter.
Is this Elvis's menu?
Yeah, exactly. Finally, you had all kinds of different beverages, including milk was 15 cents. Certified milk was 25 cents, which lets the question.
Uncertified. It's only 15.
What is that 10 cents for uncertified milk?
Just going to say this. Number 1, inflation. Am I right?
Yeah.
Number 2, 1941 has to be pissed they voted for Biden.
It's so stupid. Certified milk. I got Jason, celebrity birthdays.
Okay. Happy birthday today to Rod Stewart.
Hey.
Forever young.
Do you think he's sexy?
Forever Young. Interesting notice. The only time in Billboard history that 2 songs of the same name, yet different songs, were both in the top 10 at the same time. The song was Forever Young. Can you guess the other artist? Rod Stewart and?
No, because we need to get to the
Sorry.
birthday.
Alphaville. Rod Stewart is 84.
Rod Stewart's a young 74.
Yeah, I think you're close.
78.
Yeah, you got it.
Happy birthday. Hit me with your best shot, Pat Benatar.
Oh, Pat Benatar. Pat Benatar is 70.
Pat Benatar is 69.
Nice.
70.
Nice.
George Foreman.
George Foreman is 73.
George Foreman is 76.
74.
You got it.
Happy birthday to Lyle Menendez from the Menendez brothers.
Lyle Menendez is 54 years older than he should be.
52.
55. You guys are close today.
Oh, we are.
And let's end it with the big dog, Glenn Robinson.
Michigan.
Woo!
Let's see. Glenn Robinson is 58.
I'm going to say an even 50.
J Mars on the button.
Whatever. All right. For Jay Marsh, for Frankie Cartoscelli, for Eileen Javora, for Sean Salisbury, for Jason Ross, I'm Carmichael Dave. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, dude.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sactown Sports.
Dad, we'll get you set up for some stronger starts.